GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
A royal send-off for the Queen of Soul.
Aretha Franklin's body will lie in repose at Detroit's Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History today and tomorrow for public viewings. An additional viewing is set for Thursday afternoon at New Bethel Baptist Church, where Franklin began her career singing gospel as a child. Fans will celebrate the Queen of Soul's life and music at a tribute concert in Chene Park Thursday night. Franklin's funeral on Friday will feature a star-studded lineup with performances by Stevie Wonder, Faith Hill, and many more. Franklin died August 16th of pancreatic cancer at age 76. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
President Trump met today with the head of soccer's international organization, FIFA, about the United States co-hosting the 2026 World Cup with Canada and Mexico.
One of the biggest and maybe the biggest sporting event in the world, and soccer's come such a long way. Soccer is a game, I guess you call it football.
Gianni Infantino gave the president a set of yellow and red cards referees use to warn or eject players from matches, also a jersey with his name on it. There's a nickname among locals in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Dirty Myrtle. But dirty language there can be punished.
A local TV station in Myrtle Beach came out with a report that the city can technically fine you $500 and a potential 30-day jail sentence if you're caught using profane, libelous language, epithets, or, quote, fighting words. The report is citing an ordinance in the Myrtle Beach Code of Ethics. A city spokesman even confirmed it, saying there's an expectation of behavior in a public place while you're in Myrtle Beach, which is a popular tourist destination. The Myrtle Beach Police Department also responded with a statement saying, "We encourage everyone to avoid violating this ordinance by speaking to others with the same respect and kindness he or she deserves." Jim McKay, Fox News.
At the closing bell on Wall Street, the Dow's up 14 points, and I'm Chris Foster. Fox News Radio.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong. A big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, it's a Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, back up. My Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Enjoy yours with mustard and pickles. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location. It's so good you won't want to share. For a limited time only. Subway. Make it what you want.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Pope Francis told reporters Sunday that he will personally decide the appeal of suspended Guam Archbishop Anthony Apparon. Aboard his flight back to Rome from Ireland, the Pope was asked by reporters whether special tribunals should be convened to judge bishops and hold them accountable in sexual abuse cases. According to the transcript of his remarks published by the Catholic News Agency, the Pope said many bishops have been judged, and he mentioned Aperon, saying he has taken the case upon himself rather than sending it to the Council of Appeals that hears cases against priests. The Pope said a commission of canonists is helping him, and they will make a recommendation on Aperon's case in 1 month. Then he will issue his judgment. On the one hand, the Pope called Aperon's case complicated, but then said it was not difficult because the evidence is clear because of the results of the first tribunal, which found Aperon guilty of certain unspecified allegations after conducting an investigation of multiple allegations of sexual abuse filed against Aperon. The tribunal's judgment banished Aperon from Guam and stripped him of his title, but Aperon appealed, prompting the suspension of the sanctions against him until a final resolution of the case, which the Pope now says will be announced next month. Guam police officers assigned to the Election Tabulation Center on Saturday for the primary election have documented concerns with a nervous Guam Election Commission employee who they said gave conflicting statements on changing 2 laptops connected to the tabulation machines. Saturday morning, while the primary election was underway, a GEC employee reportedly told the police officers he was switching tabulation computers with newly brought computers because the older ones had crashed. The GEC employee reportedly said he had purchased 2 new Asus gaming laptops from Megabyte to replace the Lenovo ThinkPad Edge computers that he'd been using in previous elections. According to one officer's account, which cites additional police officer observations, the GEC employee appeared nervous and gave conflicting statements. Another officer checked Megabyte, which denied selling the laptop brand and model that the GEC employee said he bought there. The Lenovo laptops that the GEC employee wanted to change out because they'd crashed were later found to have normally started when powered up. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan telling the Guam Daily Post that the computers attached to the tabulation machines were not switched out. The new laptops, she said, were tested as a backup only. She said GEC ended up not using the new laptops because they were based on Windows 10 and the disk drive did not match. She said during the test run, the older computers slowed down, so we rushed out to get the new computers just in case. However, Pangilinan said that there was nothing suspicious. We'll have more news after this.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 6 a.m. The great-grandmother of homicide victim Timika J. Nauta said the family lives in fear now in the house where the 15-year-old girl was killed. 82-year-old Maria Ganji told the Guam Daily Post that they're scared that somebody might attack them in the house. Police are conducting a homicide investigation into the June 16th death with the help of the FBI, but have yet to make any arrests or confirm how Nauta died. However, Ganji said that her great-granddaughter was cut on the back of her head and her neck. She said she's dissatisfied with the lack of answers so far in the case. Guam police have asked the FBI to help with testing certain evidence. The FBI, however, declined to comment for the Post on the results of the testing or whether or not the results had been turned over to the Guam police. The Consolidated Commission on Utilities yesterday adopting a $1.2 billion upgrade plan for the island's water and wastewater systems. That means a new round of rate increases over the next 20 years if the Public Utilities Commission approves the plan. The plan calls for the upgrades to be funded through a combination of federal loans and grants, internal funds and borrowed bond money. The proposed rate increases for the first 7 years would be between 4 and 4.5% each year, and then would taper off to 3% annually after that. The plan involves about $109 million in court-ordered projects, as well as $830 million in rehabilitation upgrades. The new 5-year plan will now be presented to the PUC for final action. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ready now with a look at weather.
Thank you very much. Partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers. Kevin, isolated thunderstorms over Guam later on. Light and variable winds. Daytime highs hovering around 89 degrees, and overnight lows tonight should be about 77 degrees. There's sunset at 6:34 and sunrise this morning at 6:09. Not much by way of weather for me to report, but we'll take a look at the weather radar and see if there's something in there that's interesting to Michael Knight.
Yeah, things just
well, that's
starting.
Not the weather radar. That's the legislature from yesterday.
Yeah, that's a terrible storm right there, man. Oh, wow.
Stand by one.
There we go. As we can see, winds now coming out of the east-southeast just a bit. We're not really under any of the influence of Tropical Storm Jebi, 25W, which is far to our east-northeast. So just some trade wind stuff. See some showers popping up there as the sun starts to rise over the horizon there. And you can see Jebi there right under the point logo. It'll continue moving up towards northern Mariana Islands and pass through there. And not structured like the other storm was. We don't see that big tail of moisture stretching back to the southwest.
It's literally hundreds of miles away, people.
Yeah, it's literally.
They sent out the thing yesterday, and people started pinging me on my WhatsApp going, oh, my God, is it biscuito and spam time? I said, if you like biscuito and spam, but otherwise there's no requirement for you to get non-perishable foods right now.
No.
Just be ready.
About the only thing this will give us maybe some high surf on the east and north shores as it passes on through, and maybe an uptick in the rain as we end the week, but nothing real serious expected.
Gotcha. That's news and weather together here on The Point, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Yeah, it's already there. Hold on, before I get to the Kings thing, I got to make a reference to something that's already on the Facebook Live that you and I were giggling about as soon as Kevin said it. Nothing suspicious? Really, Maria Pangolina? She said, Vanessa writes, you've got alleged ballot tampering in Agate. Now you've got police officers questioning tabulation computers being switched out. Am I the only one who feels like the commission doesn't seem to be very stringent with something as serious as an election?
This is sort of thing is why I cannot do talk radio, because my show would be littered with profanity.
What are we talking? And there seems to be, I'm sorry, I'm not generally prone to sinister thought, but I mean, you got the Agate thing, you got the cops going. Wait a second, we're switching out computers. There doesn't seem to be a record at Megabyte that any of these computers were bought by them, bought from them, and so what some would say would be manipulation of the numbers to prevent some kind of a recount here. Yeah. Starting to feel a little questionable here from among some of us in the gallery. 6:16. Hey, let's talk about this over lunch today over at King's. What is today? Today's Wednesday. It's pork sinigang on Wednesdays, and that means tomorrow is meatloaf, and that means the day after that is beef tanak. But more importantly, it's Friday, so let's ramp into it, shall we? Slope into the Friday thing with lunch today at King's.
Morco Equipment stocks and sells a wide variety of heavy equipment parts. They sell heavy equipment parts to keep Guam trucking, building, digging, pushing, grading, protecting, and patrolling. If you are looking for service, repair, or replacement parts for your heavy equipment, call Morco on Epow Road at 649-1946 or click on MorcoEquipment.com. Morco Equipment. Heavy equipment parts.
Portions of the program brought to you by Security Title, when you absolutely need confidentiality in your real estate transactions.
Guam Regional Medical City, We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Is it time for a Wendy's break? It is. Wendy's 4 for $4, giving customers like you great value every day. Now, for $4, you can have 8 options to choose from, and it'll feel like breakfast. Even what might be talking about lunch or maybe an afternoon snack, it'll feel like breakfast because a couple of these things come with bacon in them, like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. We're so proud of their bacon. They put it in the name, huh? The Crispy Chicken BLT. The B stands for bacon, or the Double Stack Sandwich, all coming complete with nuggets, fries, and a drink. Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Shall I read it again? That's sorry, Tony. Just nothing suspicious. What? You've got alleged ballot tampering in Agate. Now you got police officers questioning tabulation computers being switched out.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We'll apparently always have a need to keep a handle on all of that. I'm sorry. When I heard that at the end of the story there, Kevin, I about spit out my coffee. It's right through the nose. Good thing I didn't have any expensive computer equipment, but if I did, I could go to Megabyte.
Man, I went into Warp Drive in here. I could not believe that I heard that. Nothing suspicious.
Wait a second. And so the cops wanted to find out the genesis of these computers, the Asus computers, right? So they called Megabyte. Megabyte didn't have any record of them being purchased there.
They didn't sell that.
We don't have that kind. We don't have that kind.
Right. Yeah. Isn't everybody nervous when questioned by police? Perhaps that's the explanation.
Not enough to get a whole store name wrong.
Yeah. Where did Megabyte? Are there 2 megabytes here? Listen. These guys keep great records. I have, in the course of building the radio stations, in particular the one you're listening to, I often will run to Megabyte to get something. Cords, cables, monitors, keyboards, that kind of thing. And then turn in the receipts to the company for reimbursement, right? Turn them into the treasurer, and I get reimbursed. And anyway, I was having a hard time because I had the documentation that I'd made the purchase from Megabyte, but I didn't have a copy of the receipt from Megabyte. Wow. And so I called them up and I gave them the transaction date and what the transaction amount was. And 2 minutes later, in my email inbox, I got a copy of the same receipt that I'd apparently lost from somewhere. They'd sent me a copy of it. I mean, these guys, they're in the actual computer business, and so they've got a pretty good handle on IT, and they would know if they had that kind of computer or motherboard or whatever, and they would have a pretty good indication of who it was that they sold it to eventually.
One would think.
One would think. Well, it would not apparently be a morning on Guam if we did not have some kind of election controversy that we could play around with here this morning. Yes. So let's just let this marinate for a second. Ponder it. I know none of us are capable of that kind of sinister thought. I usually leave that to the guys over at Guam Blog, but it's right there. It's in front of me. It's in my face. How do I avoid it? I can't not look. I have to check my computers now. Wait a second, cell phones.
It's like a really bad
listening?
car.
There's somebody listening on this, isn't there? Hello, Google. Okay, Google, stop listening. We're all going to get paranoid now. Hey, 6:21 in the morning. Let me start the program the way I'm supposed to be starting it, and that is with round for the guys here. I got Michael Knight, who answers the phone when you call it 888-8255. The amazing and incredible Kevin Kerrigan. from the Guam Daily Post, from whence all good news stories come. Can I just say that for you right now? Just all the great news stories and all of the fun stuff that we get to talk about seems to be emerging from the Guam Daily Post. If you are not starting your morning with this, I would say that you might be being misinformed, and you're certainly going to be uninformed. It starts with the Guam Daily Post, and that's where we get this story here. Officers report concerns over GEC computers at Gaynor. Wrote the story. Gaynor's another one of these people. Gaynor doesn't just leave details laying around and not stick them in the story, and that's why I'm looking at this, and this just doesn't kind of ring true. And then it gets to the part where they're talking about it over at the Election Commission, and they say there's nothing serious attached to the tabulation machines, etc. The new laptops were tested as a backup. That the computers that were tested during the televised test run were the same ones used on election night. GEC ended up not using the new laptops because they were based on Windows 10 and the disk drive did not match. It wasn't compatible. She said during the test run, the older computers slowed down. We rushed out to get the new computers just in case, adding later, there was nothing suspicious. Why was the guy swapping them out there? What was what is somebody? You know what? Maybe this will be the same. Maybe it'll be the same thing when we're talking with Maria yesterday, and she said, "Well, there's difference between what she said and what she wrote down. So maybe there's a difference between what the police said and what was later written down. I don't know. We'll see what we can get to on this one. But maybe it's one of those things. Kenley and Guerrero or I know Frank Uggan." Might want to ask more questions about what went on at the election headquarters on election morning.
Listening to the brand names, and I'm not a techie guy, but these don't sound like really high-end computers to begin with. Oh,
an Asus computer?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're fine. They're absolutely fine. I'm sure that I've got Asus motherboards around here.
Right.
I'm
okay. Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, it just you hear the names, and it's like you would expect. Well, we have an IBM PS 734,000
I've
or
built
something.
computers with Asus motherboards. I frankly enjoy it. They're easy. They're not that tricky. 888-8255 at 6:24 in the morning. Hey, do me a favor while you're getting that. Let's hit the Cheers theme while I still got 80 gillion people here that I can start with. Here.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Is that the right button?
Yeah, I think that was the right button. We're good. We're still on the air. How about that? Leah Beth Nahalawa, nice to see you there. Ismail asking, is this bulletproof coffee? This is the coffee came from my house, but I've been after the guys over at Circle K because I saw this. I think this is one of those things you gotta buy a certain number of coffees from them, and then you get one of these things.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, I buy a lot of coffee and gas and beer from you. Does that count? And they said, as long as every once in a while the Circle K logo gets in the shot.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And frankly, I'd be happy to do this for anybody. I'm kind of a prostitute when it comes to marketing. So if you want me to wear a hat or a shirt or drink from a certain kind of coffee mug, don't worry about it. No problem.
Yeah, we like cars and food, by the way.
Cars and especially food and skinny pants. I like skinny pants.
I see a motorcycle in your future.
Rico is there. I see Jim Howard. Nick Perlowski said, "Them's fighting words." Good morning, Daryl Taggarty, Rosemary Ogo, 4:05 p.m. Florida. Half a day, Ray. It's nice to see you out there in Florida, and I can imagine with as much fun as we're having with the election out here, I can only imagine that maybe you're having a good time with the elections out in the East Coast of the United States. Carl Pangolinan and WCW. It's Women Crush Wednesday. So if you've got crushes on anybody on the Facebook Live feed, today's a good day to say it. Good morning, Anita Muffness. Zaywert, Franco Julian is there. Lady D is up. I see Dora Marie Figiger and Jeff Ojeda, Jess Kitachai, Randy Kruger, Ashley Calvo Rodriguez. That's pretty Ashley today. Tedo and who else? Anthony Lou Sanchez, Amanda Shelton, Andre Bainham. Saw you waving on the road the thank you wave yesterday, Amanda. Well played. Joseph Le Asialagi. Greg Carabrock, Vivian Cunningham, Big Sister Shelley Gibson. We've already heard from Vanessa Ben, who's expressing her reactions this morning. To the nothing suspicious. There's nothing to see here. Move along. Kate Baltazar and Joni and Ken Borja, Dion Shinahara. Sahara Defensor, listening all the way back in the States. Mike Nahalawa, hello, buddy. Gallo Perez, Bob Lizama, and cousin Tommy Barcinas. Is there more? Of course there's more. This is the Ray Gibson Show. This is the kind of people that wake up and just can't wait to be a part of the broadcast. Yuka Oguma from Guam Insurance. Denise Mendiola. Hello, Mary Park. Mo Cotton. Nice to see you walking around. It's good to always know you're vertical. Judy Shockley. Eunice Mendiola. Elwin Chimpaco Kitano. I was looking to see if there was another Women Crush Wednesday availability for. There she is. Chanel Mariano Borja Salazar. Nice to have you up and early this morning, 6:27, and that among some of the big stories that we're going to be talking about. Did I say Ken LG's name? Did I invoke the name of Ken Leon Guerrero?
Yes, you can. I was calling you anyway because I'd already seen that, and I put some post onto my Facebook page because I have a FOIA request that was denied by the Guam Election Commission. So I'm going to be attending the meeting, and I'm hopefully going to be bringing my attorney if I can get him scheduled in to that meeting. And this is another issue I'm going to be bringing up.
Wait. So you're bringing what to the thing? I'm sorry, it's a fuzzy phone connection for me. So you've got a FOIA that you're going to be asking of the Guam Election Commission on what specifically?
On the ballots, on the invalidated ballots, the damaged ballots, the provisional ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And they denied me when I appeared in person, and so she requested that I send it in writing. They would respond in writing. And they basically told me that they're not going to respond until after the commission has a chance to review my request at the meeting on Thursday. So I'm going to bring an attorney with me to that meeting.
But is there what's the requirement on when does the bell start tolling on that? When do they absolutely positive? So you took it to them yesterday?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it sounds like Thursdays. Yeah, it sounds like they're inside of it. They're within a percent.
Yeah.
A percent of days.
Yeah, it's 3%. Holistically.
Holistically,
it's 4 days.
I got to be careful, Ken. You know, Simon Sanchez was dangerously close to scolding me for having too much fun with the mathematics conversation yesterday. Did you catch that? He was like, there's a lot of people, Ray, they're taking this very, very seriously. You seem to be having a good time with it.
Well, sometimes you just got to laugh at the absurdity of the whole thing. Holistically, that is. Holistically,
yes. And the 6 different forms of mathematics that I've been able to use to try to discern whether I've got 1% or 3%. And of the 6 that I have in front of me, I want to say 5 of them will give me 1%.
It's so funny because we're actually living 1984, It's just, how things come slower to Guam. Big brother, double speak, yes is bad, no is good, and all that stuff from the book 1984.
If you're Republican, then vote Democrat.
Yeah, and it's all holistic. See how it works out?
You know what? I don't want to say that. Can I just, because I'm not an educated guy. I didn't read the book 1984. Unless, if there's a Cliff Notes version of it, then maybe I'll get my hands on that. If you remember, they used to have the classic comics. Right, and that's how I got through high school, is reading most of those instead of actually reading the books. So if there's a Cliff Notes version of 1984, I'd be happy to see it. I think I get the gist of the idea, though, from your conversation and what you're saying. As I say, I'm not prone to sinister thought. I like to be able to take things at face value, but the more I look at it, mishandling and it's the mishandling that I think we could have lived with down in Agate. It just looked like the attempts then to cover it up. And then differences in the way the story is reported in the news and the way it has apparently been written up for the benefit of the Election Commission. There seem to be some gaps there. And then we've got police, and then somebody suggested that they blame a police officer for the changes to the balance of the ballots. And now we've got police officers expressing concerns over these swaps on the computer, and it seems to be being brushed off. And then we've got the calculations that seem to be, at least in some people's minds, at least in the minds of a few people that have been chiming in on my WhatsApp, an attempt to avoid a recount.
Well, there's a reason why everybody should be concerned, and I'll share a personal story. Back in the 1970s.
Wait. Do we have personal story music? Wait, hold on, Ken. Hold on. Do we have any personal story? Use the one that we play yesterday when I'm sad. There you go. Go ahead.
Perfect. Back in the 1970s, I was a 26-year-old student at UOG, and I had a 30-year-old friend who was a retired Navy chief. And we were in a class of high school graduates in computer programming. And needless to say, we didn't have much in common with the rest of the class. So we had a project, and this is back in punch card days, where you had to write a program, punch it out, and our entire grade was this program. So the chief leans to me. He says, "Have you run your program yet?" I said, "No, I was going to run it today." He said, "Make sure you run it before 5 p.m. Friday." I said, "Why?" He says, "You'll see." I run my program. Monday morning, we're in class, and 20-plus other students are screaming and yelling that there was a problem with the UOG mainframe, that none of their programs would run, and they needed more time. And she said, you've had the entire semester. You didn't turn your program in, therefore, you fail. And they were just, people were crying in class. And then she got to the chief's program and said, "Okay, everybody, wait a minute." And she called him up and pointed to the program. "You did this, right?" He said, "Yes." His program deleted any program that followed his that began with class number 302. So that program ran in 30 seconds. His program ran. So the fact that they attached a computer just even for a minute is a reason why we all need to be concerned. Because what if there's a program inserted that said every fifth Frank ballot gets converted to a Lou ballot?
Oh, see, that's that's a little out there even for me.
Hey.
It's a little out there, but we'll play it. See, it's just that the door's open now for this kind of thing, and all of a sudden I'm feeling like I'm in Alex Jones' world. Just one of those. Let's start throwing bombs. There's an answer, and I'm sure that there will be answers that will be provided in droves tomorrow at 5:30 at the Guam Election Commission meeting that they're supposed to be having. I
intend to be there, and I'm looking forward to hearing their explanation why a unsupervised person was attaching unknown computers to already tested and verified voting equipment.
Well, it's nothing to be concerned about.
It's a nightmare.
Nothing to be concerned about at all. So, I've also got a note that says you going to the FBI. Are you actually going to go talk to somebody over at the Federal Bureau of Investigations?
I will be there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
What, is there free coffee? What are you going there for?
Oh, I thought I'd have a chat and see if my tax dollars are really at work and encourage them to go to work.
Mm-hmm. And investigate? Okay. All right. Well,
the FBI doesn't do anything unless somebody makes a complaint.
Well, what exactly?
Ken, are you going this morning or tomorrow morning?
When are you going to see the FBI?
This morning.
Okay, and you're going to be specifically asking them to conduct an investigation and a review of?
The voting machines.
At the Guam Election Commission, the voting machines here on Guam.
Yes, because I'm going to demand a hand recount Thursday because we can't trust the voting machines.
I don't think I've got a problem with that. I've been pitching in that direction, have I not? Is it between you and Frank's people, and if Frank's people are going to be there, then Lou's people are going to be there, and everybody ought to be able to go into a gigantic room and watch and stand over the shoulders of Guam Election Commission personnel as they manually review each of the ballots.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be recommending at the board meeting on Thursday, because this action invalidates the machine count. We
every day
can't trust it.
I'm so glad I got back on the air. My life, I thought I was right there, just living the life, living the dream. Didn't have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Didn't have to worry about having an opinion every single day. And I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was going to be the end of my on-air life, and I was going to be all right with it. But no, I got pulled back into the on-air side of things, and I'm so glad.
I was here for a year before coming to work for you, and It was kind of boring. I was like, well, this is ho-hum. Wow. Boy, that changed.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, 6:37. Listen, I got to let you run because we got headlines and stuff that we got to punch through. 888-8255 is the number. 988-5874 if you've got other. Remind me, we'll play some sound from the machine a little bit later on because there was. I want to make sure. A milestone was passed yesterday, and in all seriousness, I want to acknowledge in about the same way that they did over at the legislature, BJ's about last day on the job. At 6:37 in the morning, that's coming up. But first, headlines from the Guam Daily Post with Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, a bill that would shield a mother from criminal liability if she feels compelled to give up her newborn child was approved by lawmakers yesterday. Senator Mary Torres introduced the Newborn Infant Safe Haven Act. The intent, Torres said, is to protect newborns from harm by providing a safe and anonymous means for mothers in distress to relinquish their child to medical professionals. Bill 322 would relieve a mother from any criminal liability and allow her to remain anonymous. Similar measures exist throughout the rest of the country. Lawmakers yesterday also approving two bills that amend mistakes in the 2019 fiscal year budget, which Governor Calvo allowed to lapse into law last week. Speaker Benjamin Cruz introduced Bill 340 to correct a clerical error in what is now public law. There was a no missing, said the Speaker, and he took full responsibility for the clerical error. The governor had warned that the absence of that no would have eliminated hundreds of unclassified jobs. Senator Tom Atta then proposed the second corrective measure, Bill 339. It removes the hiring prohibition mistakenly imposed on various autonomous agencies that did not get any operational funding from GovGuam's general fund. The bill also lifts the ban on hiring replacements at GovGuam public safety and public health agencies to allow them to fill vacancies due to retirements. Before the close of session yesterday, Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee, Michael San Nicolas, and Talina Nelson rose to bid farewell to Speaker Benjamin Cruz, who was elected public auditor Saturday in a special election held concurrently with the primary. The Speaker is expected to resign when the election results are certified in a few weeks. This was the last time for him to preside over a legislative session. Senator Lee said to the Speaker that our community is better off because you've been a part of it. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 6:39. That's iConnect time. They are the practical choice, and if you don't believe it, call them. Swing by right behind the radio station and check them out. They'll talk to you about great rates they've got on push-to-talk and mobile and internet plans. Really are efficient, really are practical. That's why they're the practical choice at iConnect.
My wife and I are really enjoying retirement. We hope to travel more to see our grandkids. But in the meantime, we're being smarter with our money. We switched our internet plan to iConnect and pay only $45 a month for unlimited service. Now we can video chat with the grandkids whenever we want. And our connection is great in Assen. Let's be practical. Why pay more when we can pay less with iConnect? Visit them at the Micronesia Mall, at Ganya Shopping Center, or the main office in Upper Tumon. iConnect is the practical choice.
Love those grandkids. Subway's Big Hot Pastrami is back. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location today. It's so good, you won't want to share. For a limited time only, Subway. Make it what you want.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
The Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy, APL, that's short for American President Lines. You know, they've had an incredible 2018. We'll talk about how well they have gone through in shipping the future. Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs, and American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. Nothing traffic right now. I'm looking at the gizmo, and it's showing basically nothing. I'm seeing some traffic building up around the Okadu area, maybe a little bit on route. Is that 20? That's Route 16, making your way up towards Marine Corps Drive and the intersection where the Jollibees, the Chicken Joy is. It's just building up. Don't see anything slowing down anywhere. Don't see anything slowing down the downtown Agutnia area, Navy Hospital, or down into the Sumai place, because it must still be early. We're all reeling over a couple of ideas that we've fleshed out a little bit, and I might flesh out a little bit more. 6:42 as the Ray Gibson Show continues.
Offering state-of-the-art MRI, full-field digital mammograms, full digital X-rays, and 4D ultrasounds. FHP Health Center provides comprehensive diagnostic medical imaging with the convenience and access our patients deserve. Our highly specialized board-certified radiologist ensures high-quality, patient-focused care with every visit. Call the FHP Health Center at 646-5825 and press 2 to schedule your appointment today. Most insurance is accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. Turn it up. Now tell a friend.
That's nice. Checking my WhatsApp, and there's some interesting and fun stuff that's coming up here in the chats here. 888-8255. You want to send something to a WhatsApp that will get more attention and actually find its way on the air. Then the way that you want to do that is be able to send this to the studio at 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Kevin, hold off on Mike. Just hold off on that for a second. I want to make sure that this gets done. I want to make sure it gets done early in the program. Anybody that knows me knows that I have a long time personal friendship and relationship with Speaker B.J. Cruz, going back to a number of years, and I remember when he stopped being the Chief Justice and then ran for senator, and I thought that was that was the equivalent of Michelangelo stepping down from the Sistine Chapel and say, "Do you like what we did there? Listen, I'm going to start doing kitchens now. I'm going to start painting kitchens now." And we thought that was you'd reached the pinnacle of the legal career here on Guam, and then he decided he was going to run for senator, and we all got a big laugh out of that. And as it turns out, he was pretty good at that job. And it rose to the pinnacle of that too. He was the Speaker of the Legislature. And now he's finished with that, and could have stepped away from a life of service and just been a retired guy.
At one point, he told us he was going to retire.
Hang out at King's with the other old guys. Just sit around, drink coffee, and read the Post all morning and yak about the old days. But an opportunity came up over at the Office of Public Accountability, and he ran for that. And wouldn't you know? Got some incredible number of people that supported him, even though he had zero time to campaign. So I guess his years of service aren't done. And I wanted to, as Kevin had mentioned in the last newscast, rise to say thanks very much for all the time that you've put in. Thank you very much for always being accessible to me, whether it was at K57 or whether it's here on The Point. When I've had questions, you've always helped me understand the process and understand why you had to be the loyal opposition to the Calvo Tenorio administration, and how interesting it's going to be in any upcoming administration while you are a member of the Office of Public Accountability. So I thought, by way of saying thank you very much, I'd allow a couple of folks over at the legislature an opportunity to say thanks very much, as was heard yesterday towards the end of their regular session.
Senator Lee.
Mrs. Masi, Mr. Speaker, it just dawned on me earlier today that we would be voting on this docket of bills, and one of them was a Safe Haven Act. And this was a measure that you had brought before the body many moons ago, and the more I thought about it, the more I started to realize that there were many different measures that you've brought before the body over the past few terms. And I just wanted to take a moment to highlight some of them, as today is likely your last vote with the body. So there were a lot of different, very visionary and progressive ideas that you brought forward that were really before their time. Safe haven was one of them. Same-sex civil unions was another. Increasing the minimum wage. But there were also a number of measures that really spanned across the course of your career that's really dedicated towards protecting our children against violence and abuse. You did a lot of work in championing our environment with your shark finning bill and with many other measures. Protecting our island on invasive species and radioactive materials. You provided policies for the body and for our island to consider that really promoted the health and wellness of our community, to include countless amounts of legislation on tobacco, alcohol, e-cigarettes, creating the Guam Drug and Alcohol Detoxification, Rehabilitation, and Prevention Program, and really working to highlight what makes Guam special and what makes Guam unique, preserving and protecting our culture. And so at this time, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to rise and in this brief extension of remarks, just say that I believe that our community is better because you've been a part of it. And so I really want to thank you very much for your work and wish you well on your next adventure in new office, and just say, on behalf of myself and I think all my colleagues, and Douglas Masi.
Aw. Did you hear a little quiver in the voice towards the end of it? I think that gets you kind of right in the feels. I want to say that Talena Nelson went on with a couple of remarks, and then Tom Atta got up and
Michael San Nicolas.
Oh, did Mike? Okay, I didn't see Mike's, but saw Talena, and then I skipped. I fast forwarded, and then it was Tom Atta saying, "Okay, are we done? We're gonna, look at the time. Let's go. Come on, it's dinner somewhere. Let's get the crack-a-lack in here."
Tom the Hammer.
Yeah, we have Tom the Hammer, and so I wonder what will happen now. Have you heard what the possibilities are?
Yeah, it's as soon as the results are certified, which is expected
September.
to be September 10th, although it may be delayed given recent developments.
You think?
But around September 10th, he'll resign, and then Speaker Terlahi takes over as acting speaker. The body then needs to vote on a new speaker. It may be the vice speaker, Senator Terlahi, or it may be somebody else.
Right.
They also need to select on
Senator Terlahi didn't get up and do 3 minutes of a thank you very much like Regine did.
No, she didn't. She didn't do that. But they also have to vote on a replacement for the Finance Committee, which
I would have done
Speaker Cruz led.
I would have done that if I was jockeying for the job. I would have gotten up. What a great guy you are! Oh my God. You are so much better than anybody else that's ever had that job before. And you're the best looking one, too. Can I just say that? And what a fine dancer you've turned out to be. I'm just playing around.
You got my vote.
Yeah, yep. Elwin Chimpaco says, BJ, a true public servant, a statesman forever. And as I said, he's not done. There's going to be more out of him. It's just a matter of time before he gets over to the Office of Public Accountability and shakes the cages around there and starts calling in. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't know what his first day on the job is going to be like.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Buckle your seatbelt. I think it's going to be a fun ride.
Bumpy ride.
888-8255. That is the telephone number of the radio station. You want to chime in on everything it is that we're talking about. It seems to me that the most notable story so far, because as it relates to the election that many of us, not everybody, but many people participated in on Saturday. Has got another wrinkle in it that is unattached to any of the other wrinkles that we've previously talked about. Around 9:40 a.m., the story on today's Guam Daily Post reads, during the primary, a Guam Police Department lieutenant indicated the GEC employee told the officers he was switching the tabulation computers with newly bought ones because the older ones had crashed. A GEC employee told an officer he had purchased two new Asus Tough Gaming FX504 series laptops from the megabyte store to replace the Lenovo ThinkPad Edge computers that had been used in previous elections and had already been test run and witnessed by party representatives the night before Saturday's election. And you go to page 5. The GEC employee appeared nervous and gave conflicting statements about the emergency purchase of the gaming laptop. So an officer checked Megabyte, which denied selling the laptop brand and model the GEC employee had indicated he bought there, according to the officer's account, which cites additional police officers' observations. One of the officers conveyed his concerns to J.I. Cruz, indicating, that's the police chief, indicating the GEC employee's nervousness and the inconsistencies of his answers during the inquiries. GEC, though, says, Maria Pangolina said, there's nothing suspicious here. Nothing, said the computers attached to the tabulation machine were not switched out. But the police officer said they were switched out, right? The computers that were tested during the televised test run were the same ones used on election night. She said they ended up not using the new laptops because they were based on Windows 10 and the disk drive did not match. Compatibility issues. We rushed out to get the new computers just in case, adding later on that there was nothing suspicious.
She said the new laptops were tested as a backup.
They were tested as a backup and they weren't used.
Right, because they were based on Windows 10 and the disk drives didn't match.
Now, was that at 9:45? Was that a test?
The test occurred in the morning.
But was that the one that was observed by the police officers?
Yes.
So the police officers observed the test of it,
and became suspicious because the employee was acting
nervous.
Suspicious.
Yeah, because the cop's looking at him. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Well, which happens,
you're not going to search my car, are you?
When you're driving down the road and the blue light shows up behind you, you always slow down, right?
Not if I know the guy. Not if I know the guy. So the 9:45 was the test. Is what I'm trying to get to is at 9:45 they tested it because the other ones crashed.
He said
the other ones. The guy said the other ones crashed. That's why he was switching these new ones in, or at least turning the new ones on, and then discovered that they were incompatible. And at what point did they go back to the crashed machines?
This will all be subject to investigation.
The Guam election committee. Nothing suspicious here, ladies and gentlemen. Just okay. Too many hands in the cookie jar, says Vanessa. So you got that. You got the agate story, and then we've got the recount. Oh, speaking of recount, at 6:54, I'd like you to go to the point.gu. That's the name of our website. Every once, we spend so much time on Facebook. I got to mention this every once in a while. We've got an actual website that you can go to, the point.gu. And what you can do on the point.gu is you can go to a thing called The Ray Gibson Show, and it will take you to a page where virtually every program we've ever done on the radio station has been archived, so that you can go and click on that, and it will take you to YouTube, where we've got high-quality versions of the programs. Doesn't change out the content. The content doesn't get any better. It just looks good, right? But to the point.gu today, our online poll question: should the Guam Election Commission conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank? And I've kept the answers very simple. Yes, exclamation point, and no, exclamation point. And the reason why I wanted to do it that way was because I want to see your comments on this. I want to see if it's just, is it, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, right? But I mean, just there's stuff, right? I want to hear if your sentiments echo the sentiments of mine and the sentiments of other people that are observing this and think, 260 votes is a kind of narrow margin. And we can agree or disagree for all week, whether that is 2% or 1% or 3%, but it's tight. It's a tight race for the governor's office, at least on the Democratic side. And here's the thing. This is the other thing, is I am starting to already hear from people. And you watch the Facebook Live. You watch the comments on the Facebook Live. There are already people that had identified with the other two camps, Dennis's and Carl's now, that are asking the questions. They're now saying, what is going on here? And for their own part, demanding a recount. So I want to see, there's a comment section. So should the GEC conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank? Your choices are yes and no. And then you can add a comment. Now, it'll ask your name and email. You don't have to put it in there. You don't have to put it in there. Just, in fact, if you don't want it, leave it blank. Just leave it blank. And put your comment in. And if you want me to publish your comment, just hit the little check mark, and then I will see it. I'll go back and look at the page every once in a while and see what comments are up there that won't get me sued, and I'll go ahead and pass those through. I'll patch those through so they show up on the results page. But I really, really, really want to hear your comments on this. I mean, if you think there's nothing to it, if you think 260 votes is better than one vote, and you think that Lou ran away with the race, okay, fine, no recount then. But if you're thinking that, it's just too narrow right now, I'd feel a whole lot better if we did the recount and then the Guam Election Commission sent that part of Chapter 5 back to the legislature for review so that they can fill in the blanks on how it is that we're going to come up with a percentage. Then go ahead and put a comment like that down. I'll check on this in a few minutes and see what the vote count looks like for yes or no. Should the Guam Election Commission conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank? So we've got that working here today. A couple of other things that are going to be interesting. We spent a little bit of time with Simon Sanchez in the last couple of days talking politics, etc. But the last time that we spent any time with Cy and anybody from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities was the conversation about what we need to do with the Guam Water Works Authority. We are like many other municipalities around the United States of America. We've got an ancient water system in many parts of the island. Ancient water system stuck here by the Japanese, stuck here by the Navy. Nobody's been maintaining them, and we're growing. We're growing. They got the big development up in where are they putting those Euro homes?
Jigo.
Up in Jigo, and they're sticking another mall up in Jigo, right? The Jigo Town Square Mall thing.
That's the word.
Okay, so obviously there's growth going. I wrote it down. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm laughing because we already have one mall that's basically failing.
Where? Which one?
This one down here in Agana.
Gannett Shopping Center?
That's half the mall it used to be. Yeah, you might, but look around. There ain't a whole lot of people that share your sentiment.
They're all at the movie theater. You know what? Go try to get your nails done at that place at the entrance. You'd be surprised how crowded that place gets. Anyway, so my point is that, and maybe it's because everybody wants to shop up north. You realize that north of the Micronesia Mall is where virtually half of the population lives, and so many more shopping and business opportunities need to occur up there because, I don't know, gas is $4.43 a gallon. Maybe there's that people got to deal with. But my point is that we are growing, and the infrastructure needs to stay up with that kind of growth. How much? $1.2 billion worth of an upgrade plan between now and the late 2030s. So we'll find out a little bit later on what we're going to get for about $700 million worth of borrowing that the agency wants to do. It's 7 o'clock in the morning or darn close to it. Can you say it in 5 seconds? Okay, then we'll save it for the next hour of the program. The radio station is KUSG Hagutnya. This is The Point. Fox News Live. On the other side of that, Kevin Kerrigan with more big news from today's Guam Daily Post.
Polling problems in Arizona. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. It's primary day there in Florida, too, with runoffs in Oklahoma. And some people in the Phoenix area were not able to vote at their local polling places. More on why from Fox's Gernal Scott.
And Chris, Maricopa County Recorder Adrian Fontes was alerted to issues in Phoenix's voting stretched into the afternoon.
We are concerned that some voters are having problems out there, and I think that that's terrible. One voter having problems is too many, as far as I'm concerned.
Fontes said the county may sue a contractor for not getting precincts running in neighborhoods. In Florida, 2 races stand out. Governor Rick Scott's primary for Senate and the GOP governor's race between Ag Commissioner Adam Putnam and Congressman Ron DeSantis, who's backed by the president. Runoffs in Oklahoma will affect the governor's race and 5 House seats as Democrats seek a majority in D.C., Chris.
Gernal, President Trump says Google and others are rigging search results to emphasize negative news about him and keep down conservative voices.
I think that Google and Twitter and Facebook, they're really treading on very, very troubled territory, and they have to be careful. It's not fair to large portions of the population.
The president hasn't offered any evidence to back up his complaints today, and Google says in a statement, politics just don't factor into how its search results are determined. A bipartisan group is being put together to explore ways to honor Senator John McCain in the Senate, maybe a portrait or naming a meeting room or even a building after him. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says his friend John McCain taught him Serving a cause greater than yourself hurts.
He couldn't put his jacket on. He couldn't comb his hair because he got hurt serving a cause greater than himself.
As a prisoner during the Vietnam War. On Wall Street today, the Dow up 14 points, the S&P 1 point higher at the close, or close to it, and the NASDAQ was up 12. Fox News, fair and balanced.
You've been waiting, and now it's here. Furniture Kathy Style's grand opening after 12 months of putting together an exciting, delicious, salivating, full-scale, real furniture store that has absolutely everything you need for a beautiful home. Beautiful textures, up-to-date styles, and prices that will blow your mind during our grand opening. Starting now, Furniture Kathy Style throughout the store. Bargains, bargains, bargains. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Furniture Kathy Style in Hagutnya. Open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
A 10th child has died after a fire during a sleepover in an apartment in Chicago Sunday morning. Adrian Hernandez was 14. He'd been hospitalized. The state's now looking into allegations of neglect. There were no adults there and no working smoke alarms, according to fire officials. The cause of the fire is under investigation still. Our military could get back to conducting large-scale military exercises on the Korean Peninsula.
The Trump administration said it would suspend joint military exercises with South Korea as part of discussions with North Korea at the Singapore summit. Today, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said small-scale exercises have still been going on and larger-scale exercises could return.
We have no plans at this time to suspend any more exercises.
This after President Trump announced Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's planned trip to North Korea was canceled due to a lack of progress on denuclearization. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
We learned today who the contenders will be on country music's biggest night.
Chris Stapleton topping the list of nominees for the 52nd Annual Country Music Association Awards. Up for Entertainer of the Year as well as Male Vocalist, Album, Single, and Song of the Year for Broken Halos. Each with 3 nods: Jason Aldean, Dierks Bentley, Dan and Shay, Florida Georgia Line, Chris Jansen, Miranda Lambert, Midland, Thomas Rhett, and Keith Urban picking up his 14th nomination for Male Vocalist of the Year. Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood return as hosts November 14th. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The bishop for the Catholic Diocese of San Jose, California, now says he will not live in a $2.3 million home bought for his retirement. Bishop Patrick J. McGrath says he erred in judgment and that he'll live instead in a rectory, existing church housing, at one of the parishes in the diocese. He says any profit from selling the house will be donated to a Catholic county housing charity. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guam Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
Hey, what's that?
Oh,
It's a Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, back up. My Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Get your own.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Enjoy yours with mustard and pickles. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location. It's so good you won't want to share. For a limited time only. Subway. Make it what you want.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Guam police officers assigned to the Election Tabulation Center on Saturday have documented concerns with a nervous Guam Election Commission employee who they say gave conflicting statements on changing 2 laptops connected to the tabulation machines. Saturday morning, while the primary election was underway, a GEC employee reportedly told the police officers that he was switching tabulation computers with newly bought computers because the older ones had crashed. The GEC employee reportedly said he had purchased 2 new Asus gaming laptops from Megabyte to replace the Lenovo ThinkPad computers that had been used in previous elections. According to one officer's account, which cites additional police officer observations, the GEC employee appeared nervous and gave conflicting statements. Another officer checked Megabyte, which denied selling the laptop brand and model that the GEC employee said he bought there. The Lenovo laptops that the GEC employee wanted to change out because they'd crashed were later found to have normally started up when powered up. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan said during the test run that the older computers slowed down, so we rushed out to get the new computers just in case. In the end, however, Pangilinan said the computers attached to the tabulation machines were not switched out. The new laptops were tested as a backup, said Pangilinan, but the Election Commission ended up not using the new laptops because they were based on Windows 10 and the disk drives did not match. There was nothing suspicious, said Pangilinan. Pope Francis told reporters Sunday that he will personally decide the appeal of suspended Guam Archbishop Anthony Apparon aboard his flight back to Rome from Ireland. The Pope was asked by reporters whether special tribunals should be convened to judge bishops and hold them accountable in sexual abuse cases. According to the transcript of his remarks published by the Catholic News Agency, the Pope said many bishops have been judged, and he mentioned Apparon, saying he has taken the case upon himself rather than sending it to the Council of Appeals that normally hears cases against priests. The Pope said a commission of canonists is helping him, and they will make a recommendation on Apparon's case in 1 month, and he will issue his judgment. On the one hand, the Pope called Apparon's case complicated, but then said it was not difficult because the evidence is clear, because of the results of the first tribunal, which found Apparon guilty of certain unspecified allegations after conducting an investigation of multiple allegations of sexual abuse filed against Apparon. The tribunal's judgment banished Apparon from Guam and stripped him of his title, but Apparon appealed, prompting the suspension of the sanctions against him until a final resolution of the case, which the Pope now says will be announced next month. We'll have more news after this.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumama. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. The Consolidated Commission on Utilities has adopted a $1.2 billion upgrade plan for the island's water and wastewater systems. That means a new round of rate increases over the next 20 years if the Public Utilities Commission approves the plan. The plan calls for the upgrades to be funded through a combination of federal loans and grants, internal funds, and borrowed bond money. The proposed rate increases for the first 7 years would be between 4 and 4.5% each year, and then would taper off to 3% annually after that. The plan involves about $109 million in court-ordered projects, as well as $830 million in rehabilitation upgrades. The rest of the spending plan involves quality improvement projects or system expansions. The new 5-year rate plan will now be presented to the PUC for final action. Amidst escalating speculation on the status of the investigation into the gun-grabbing incident involving Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, the Guam Attorney General's office yesterday would only confirm that that investigation continues. Carlina Charfaris, the spokeswoman for the AG's office, told the Guam Daily Post that there has been no change in the Attorney General's position. In order to avoid politicizing the case, Charfaris said there will be no comment on the status of the investigation except to say that it is ongoing. The case has been under investigation for more than a month now. No charges have been filed against Tenorio over his conduct at the Pleasure Island Guam barbecue block party in Tumon on July 7th. The lieutenant governor has acknowledged that he had consumed 2 or 3 beers when he approached a uniformed on-duty Guam police officer from behind and took the officer's service weapon out of its holster after noticing it did not appear to be securely fastened. Separately, Charfaris also confirmed that Assistant Attorney General James Collins held a meeting on Monday morning with attorney Thomas Fisher about a case involving one of Fisher's clients. However, Charfaris declined to identify the client. If you're asking if the meeting took place, the answer is yes, Charfaris said, but I cannot say which client it was in reference to, she said. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Right now with weather.
It's kind of like hitting a snooze bar, isn't it? Wait a second, I'll wake up for a second, get back to you with an answer, and then hit the snooze bar and come back. I'll check back in another month or so. 7:14, partly cloudy skies and isolated showers. There's isolated thunderstorms expected over Guam later on. Light and variable winds and daytime highs 89 degrees. Overnight lows should be about 77. Sunset tonight, 6:34. Sunrise at 6:09. And just a quick question for you, Mike, the meteorologist. When are we going to be out of the, oh my God, it's muggy at 4 o'clock in the afternoon thing?
Yeah, that's December.
In December. Okay, but it is in the forecast out there somewhere. Just because yesterday it was brutal.
And that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The Weather Service didn't mention a heat index, but with temperatures near 90, and being this time of year, you just know that it's going to be close to 100, and that's pretty stressful on the body. So, and we can expect more days like that. But as we get more cloud cover over the next few days, rounding out the week, then it should be a little better.
It makes the afternoon refreshments taste that much better. 7:15 o'clock in the morning. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
It's 40 years or something like that. The guys over at King's have been cooking for us, and they got a pretty good handle on what it is that we like around here, and they pay attention. So every day at lunch, they've got something special for you. Salisbury steak on Mondays, beef steak tomorrow, Tuesdays, pork sinigang today. Tomorrow, it's meat cake or meat loaf, whichever you want to call it, and beef tenactac on Fridays. Pick 2, pick 3 combos. That's working for you as well whenever you need to lunch at King's.
Stay clean and connected with Docomo Pacific and Mobile. For a limited time, stop by any participating mobile store and get a free chamois when you purchase $10 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid load. Keep your car looking spotless when you go prepaid. With the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. You plus Docomo Pacific, better together. Offer valid while supplies last. Some conditions apply.
Portions of the program brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
The Ray Gibson Show brought to you by a whole gaggle of people. American Water Tech, Smarter Water, Better Water, APL. That's American President Lines. They're shipping the future, Micronesia Renewable Energy, and Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, buddy. Where are we? It's still almost 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning. Jerry Roberts back in the studio for another exciting round of the Extra Point, and he gets to do that live here today because he doesn't. You know what? Just never mind recording. Just come here and just be a part of the broadcast experience on a regular going forward basis, because there's always something fun to talk about, isn't there?
Seeds. He's planting seeds, isn't he?
Yeah. But you know what? Just do what the heck.
Oh, and they will
right
grow
here.
in your fertile mind, sir.
There it is. And today's,
That's tomorrow.
Oh, so you've already. Oh,
I got to record it.
Oh, you're going to record it.
I got to record tomorrow.
Just had enough of me, huh?
No. Never had enough. But
because there's stuff there.
I'm getting words at home.
So
where are you going?
BJ's last day at work was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Actually corrected the budget for the governor.
Oh.
did some of that. But a little bit of and not so much for him. I think there were others that were pushing into a swan song. Is that Talena Nelson, Regine Visco Lee, and Mike St. Nicholas had some comments. And you and I have had the pleasure of being, working around some real wonderful people, supervisors, managers, bosses that eventually left. What's an appropriate kind of send off for them?
See ya.
Don't let the screen door hit you on the way out. Thanks for the laughs. Appreciate it.
It depends. I mean, if someone has been really close to you, I mean, I've seen all kinds of things going on. Elaborate parties, and then I've seen a couple of them where it went on for one of those weddings they talk about that go on all week long.
No, we could totally do it. Well, you're talking about BJ, right?
Yeah. Well,
elaborate parties.
Okay.
Right? Hey, BJ, you remember the last of the Roaring 30s? You remember that party we did at the funeral home?
I wasn't invited, no.
That was crazy fun. All right, anyway, so maybe something along those lines before you take on the reins of the Office of Public Accountability. But as I say, there will be times we've got employees of some kind of value to the company you just couldn't convince to stay, and so maybe there is an appropriate send-off. Maybe that'll be the point of a Jerry Roberts Extra Point one of these days. But first, let's take a look at what happened on the market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, 26,064. Did you hear me? 26,064. I told you last week it was going to 26.
You did.
I did. And there it is this morning, 26,064. You know who got it there? Who? Donald J. Trump. Just saying. NASDAQ. Hold on. Another record. NASDAQ, 8,030. Who got him there? Say it with me. Donald J. Trump.
He can't defy gravity.
Why can't? What is this? They're getting no love for our orange-haired president. S&P 500, 2,897. Who got him there?
You did.
Okay, fine. You know what? Maybe it's just my unbridled excitement to see these numbers.
Bro, really.
Look, there's people that have their retirement accounts and their livelihoods that are attached to these indexes, and the indexes are cranking. It's not the first time that the Dow Jones has been over 26,000. It was at 26,000 back in late December, January of 2018, and now it is back up. I think that is fantastic. So good for you if you've got money indexed on that market. FTSE, it's 76.17. The Nikkei at 22,813. And Mike's prediction, it's going to crash. What you're about to hear is the sound of a bubble bursting. Hang Seng at 28,351. Shanghai at 27,777. And the DAX at 12,524. Let's look at all for a second, shall we? $68.53 for for West Texas. That is down from where it was yesterday. And I'm going to look real quick and see if I can get my hands on an updated price. Usually don't update until about Wednesdays for Tappas. $77.85, and that's up by about 30 cents from where it was yesterday. It's trading a little bit high, but still inside of that narrow range, not quite up to $80 a gallon. 7:21 in the morning, and so that's what happened on the market. Yes.
Are you journaling? What are you doing?
Am I journaling? Oh,
you have
yes.
a big notebook down there.
Oh, yeah. No, this is the hallmark of the Ray Gibson Show. It's every single day I get in the radio station. I've got the newspapers. I've got my notes. I've got printouts of all it, and I keep.
And you can go back and figure what you did on a certain day.
Yes. I would be able to if I put the dates on them, but I never actually date the paper. So sometimes it's a little tricky. I
like the idea.
There's I don't know if three much reigns in these books, but I had before I left the old place, I had a drawer full of them. I had 11 years worth of these things.
My goodness,
I know, right?
I am impressed.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad
I think it's a good idea.
Trying to finally impress somebody around here.
And I think that will be a extra point one of these days.
Really? On just keeping notes?
I think
journaling
is something that makes people kind of go, ooh, hoity-toity stuff, and and they want to hear chimes in the background.
Oh no, I do keep a journal.
I think.
I mean, a personal journal. I keep a personal journal. Yeah.
I think managers should do that. I think all employees perhaps, but certainly managers and business owners should keep a journal.
What did Bill Gibson teach us? If you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. And I will be able to argue with anybody what the nature of the headlines were for at least in this case for as long as I've been doing this program, because I'm on the second book now. Anyway, 7:23. Speaking of the extra point, here is Jerry Roberts.
And here it is, right here on that pen. Okay, it said the very same thing. When's the first time you really noticed your office environment?
I don't understand the question.
First time when you were in business or worked for a company, when's the first time that you really took notice of the office layout, the environment, etc., where it made a difference?
That's the new guy.
Yeah, I mean, usually you kind of notice that sort of thing right off, but not as deeply as you do after.
It's hard here for the employees of this shop because when we were here, it was basically four walls, and we built this environment. We built it all together.
Okay. The only time it ever mattered to me was back in the radio days when Uncle Tote, the late Joe Cunningham, used to teeter back and forth on chairs and break them like once a week. And we had to go and buy new chairs all the time. So then the furniture mattered. But that's the subject of today's extra point. Does the office layout have anything to do with how we feel at work and our overall productivity? Today, let's grab a look at the physical conditions we're working in on the extra point. 5 years ago, Fast Company magazine came out with an article that questioned the benefits of the open office environment. That's the one that saw a lot of companies get rid of their cubicles and set up desks and tables in an open room. Workers were told that the lack of privacy, plus hearing everybody else's phone conversations, plus seeing them and sometimes smelling them eat at their desk, was somehow good for us. That it would boost organizational productivity as we shared ideas freely all day long. And, of course, we could get by with less space, less expense, and that would be a nice bonus. Well, the idea went viral, and then open office layouts became a trend, and there's a number of them here in Guam. Guess what? Now there's a growing body of research that shows the open environment isn't exactly so good for us. We enjoy and indeed need privacy. We need to have some protection from interruptions. Cubes aren't the perfect answer. The University of California at Irvine reported that workers in cubicles suffer interruptions at a rate of 29% more than those in private offices. There are times when workers need quiet and controlled space in order to better concentrate. So, is it back to cubes for everybody? Well, the jury is still out on that one. But it's got a major supporter, Tony Hsieh. You may have heard of this guy. He's the CEO of a company called Zappos, one of the world's leading shoe and clothing retailers. Hsieh works in a cubicle. and he gets a lot of media coverage, so it's possible that Cubes will receive some love in the weeks and months to come. But can we improve our office layout without resorting to cubicles? And the answer is yes. And there's some science that encourages people to change the decor every once in a while. When's the last time you moved things around in your office? Or is everything in the exact same place as when you first put it there? Yes? Oh, you like it that way. Well, how long has it been that way? Years? People who study such things say that the simple act of shifting office furniture around can stimulate production. Not just that, but it can usher in an increased sense of well-being. It's sort of like hitting the environmental reset button. Are you not sure how to approach this? Find out if there's someone on your staff who has a flair for setting up rooms and let them take a crack at it. What do you have to lose? Turn it into an after-hours office party where everybody pitches in. Add some food to that, and you're good to go. You don't have to necessarily spend a lot of money on this. Maybe you don't spend anything at all. That said, if you can scrounge a few dollars to add plants and some accent lighting, you might end up with something pretty interesting. Give it a try. Freshen up the office and see if that helps to freshen up attitudes as well. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and the always fresh Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
Rearranging the furniture.
Like out there.
Yeah, well, we got there was originally going to be 2 open bays that we've got here at the radio station, and that was going to be sales and administration, and it was going to be DJs and promotions and things like that. And one of these days there may yet be one of those things, but I think in terms of what we've got for the open bay out there, mostly salespeople, and they're mostly on the streets all the time. So I don't know.
They should be,
which is where they're supposed to be. What's the old burger line? Is you don't make the sales den nice because you want the salespeople out of the building as often as you possibly can. 727, but I don't disagree. Every once in a while, it's good to rearrange the furniture. And like we're seeing with the new guy over at the University of Guam, at some point, he's going to look around and say, well, this is all very, very nice. It's all very Robert Underwood. I want new furniture.
Yeah.
And because it's time to make it his own at some point.
At some point.
And that's the important thing, especially for new managers. Every once in a while, go in, take a look around, lay of the land, where's the real power in the office, and then start exerting your own. I want a new desk. I'd like new chairs. I'd like this.
Or even just take the existing stuff and move around a little bit. Do something with it.
Doesn't hurt. 7:28 in the morning. That's this morning's Extra Point with the incredible Jerry Roberts. You'll be able to find that on his website, guamtraining.com. Our website is thepoint.gu, and you can go to thepoint.gu and respond to our online poll today. Should the GEC conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank? It'll be on the right-hand side of the web page. Just scroll down a little bit till you get to the online poll. So far, the answers are yes. That's it. The number one answer is yes. The Guam Election Commission should conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank. You don't need to give your name or your email, but if you'd like to attach a comment to it, fill it in. I'll review the comments, and the ones that don't get me sued will find their way to the website as well. 888-8255. Got Kevin Kerrigan and traffic coming up next.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
All right, here it is, the traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive from up in Jigo, from up by the church down. You're going to see traffic building, not slowing down, just building. It's that time for a lot of cars to hit the road, but I got a feeling it'll start slowing down soon over by Ukadu and the intersection of 1 and 3. A little bit northbound build up as well, just after you get past the Fatima Mobile. 8, 10, and 16 looking clear right now. You might have a little bit of a wait trying to get from the post office to Happy Mart over there. Telen Pago and in the Mangilao area through Route 4 into Mangilao and the intersection of there and 15 is beginning to build up, as is Route 4 traffic. Right now, primarily in the Ordot area, Ordot-Selenpago area, clear as you get into Agana Heights and down into Agana. Nothing building up in front of Navy Hospital right now, and the entrance pathways to Big Navy and Anderson Air Force Base at this time are clear. 7:30. That's right now traffic on the point.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Let's take a look at some of the comments here from the poll results. And no, I'm going to go ahead and publish these because I don't think they're going to get me sued. The difference is too small to ignore. Yes, do a recount. Whether 3% or more, there are more ballots to be counted, and actually hoping it will be in Frank and Alicia's favor. Response number 2, and the plot thickens. And response number 3, Rico actually put his name on this. 260 votes is just too close to ignore. Fishy, the GE seems to be avoiding a recount. Silence the critics and do the recount. Good point there, Rico. Appreciate that. And as I said, you can go to thepoint.gu on the World Wide Web. The question is, should the GEC conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank? Your answers are yes and no, but I'd sure like to see those comments. 888-8255 if you want to give your comments on the radio. 988-5874 if you want to toss something in our direction on the radio station WhatsApp, on the Point WhatsApp. Yesterday, very useful for getting video and some images from that accident up in Jigo. Apparently, 3 folks sent to the hospital, but minor injuries along with that accident. That's good news. Speaking of news, 7:32, time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: a bill that would shield a mother from criminal liability if she feels compelled to give up her newborn child was approved by lawmakers yesterday. Senator Mary Torres introduced the Newborn Infant Safe Haven Act. The intent, Torres said, is to protect newborns from harm by providing a safe and anonymous means for mothers in distress to relinquish their child to medical professionals. The senator originally introduced the measure last year, but it was not acted on. She reintroduced it in June this year after a newborn boy was left on the doorstep of a stranger's home in Dededo. Lawmakers yesterday also approving 2 measures that amend mistakes in the 2019 fiscal year budget, which Governor Eddie Calvo allowed to lapse into law last week. Speaker Benjamin Cruz introduced Bill 340 to correct a clerical error. There was a no missing in the bill, said the speaker. He took full responsibility for the oversight. The governor said the absence of that no would have eliminated hundreds of unclassified GovGuam jobs. Senator Tom Atta proposing the second corrective measure, Bill 339. It removes the hiring prohibition mistakenly imposed on various autonomous agencies that don't get any operational funding from the GovGuam General Fund. The bill also lifts the ban on hiring replacements at public safety and public health agencies to allow them to fill vacancies due to retirements. And before the close of session yesterday is Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee and Senators Michael San Nicolas and Talina Nelson all rose to bid farewell to Speaker Cruz, who was elected public auditor Saturday in a special election held concurrently with the primary. The Speaker is expected to resign when the election results are finally certified in a few weeks. This was the last time for Speaker Cruz to preside over a legislative session. Senator Lee said that the Speaker has given much to our community, which is better off because he's been a part of it. She highlighted the wide variety of bills that the Speaker had championed, that she called visionary, progressive ideas that were before their time. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Did the governor say anything yet?
Not yet.
He should. Don't you think the governor should say something?
We'll see.
Yes, the one soon-to-be outgoing head of a branch of the government saying goodbye, so long, farewell, thanks to your service, thank you for your service. I mean, even as though they had been at loggerheads on many issues in the last 8 years.
Well, it's not final yet. We'll have to wait until the votes are certified, and then he will formally submit his resignation.
Just check.
Perhaps then.
Just check it. 888-8255, 888-8255. Frank, do me a favor. Give me your number, and we'll see if I can reach out to you in that direction. At 7:35 is iConnect time, and used to say connect longer for less, but we've decided to turn this into a whole campaign form. So it's connect with the most practical carrier there is. Mobile plans, internet plans, even push to talk. You can't get it from anybody else. PTT. Find out all about it with the practical choice. iConnect.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
It's time for a Wendy's break. 4 for $4, giving customers great value every day. For just $4, you now have 8 options to choose from. Some all-time favorites like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, the Crispy Chicken BLT, or the Double Stack Sandwich, all coming complete with nuggets, fries, and a drink. All of that for just $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dedito 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
I told you it's going to start getting heavy, and sure enough, making your way from around the Woostig area into Sengsong Road, you might see a little bit of a slowdown through there. Ukadu is definitely slowing down. I got a little bit of traffic that is happening right in front of Malakuti's place, and my guess is it's that turn into making your way in Harmon. What else have we got coming out of? There's a little bit of the uphill traffic that will take you on Route 16 towards 10 Alpha. Is that uphill traffic? Maybe that's downhill. Maybe it's just people trying to get into the Catholic school there. Don't know, but anyway, at least I can see that coming down through 10A and then towards Marine Corps Drive. We're watching traffic start to build. And what the heck is going on along Route 8? Is that on the Old Naval Air Station side, or is that definitely Route 8? I don't know. I got traffic into and through 8, 10, and 16. Yeah, okay, I see where that is now. From about where the post office is onto 8, 10, and 16, and then southbound until you can actually get into Tiedzen over by the Golden Sea restaurant there. And then there's going to be other places on Route 8 where traffic is also getting heavy. Coming out of Hagåtña Heights down into the central parts of Hagåtña, you might see a little bit of a slowdown. Still nothing in front of Navy Hospital, and we're definitely slowing down in front of Big Navy down in Sumai. It's 7:38. That's right now. Traffic on the point.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
And we're rock and rolling now. What is it, Wednesday morning? Man, I can see the weekend from here. I can smell the weekend from here, and I kind of like the way it smells so far. Vivian Sablon is there. I see Michelle Peer online this morning on Facebook Live. Ike Iseki, TC in charge. Alberto Santos de Castro. Half a day to you, Vivian Castro Leon, Renee and Pat Tigui, Franklin Akfadze. I got Frankie Gutierrez. Mo Cotton, who's running this down. So when I ran for senator, he says, a couple elections ago, there was only one person eliminated. Me. The cost of the Guam taxpayers was over $250,000. How important am I? Question, why is a primary election, and why a primary election, and why are the taxpayers paying for it? You know, as each day worth of the conversation goes through, it becomes more and more obvious. As Darrell Taggarty says, Mo, the party and candidates get their costs covered, but taxpayers got entertainment, deserving of a sports analogy. Frankly, not high on my priority list. Money better spent making whole GMH suppliers or Catholic Social Services for their Manumco care. But I appreciate you bringing it up just the same. name. Elwin Chimpaco Catano. Jeff Pleadwell from Pirates Cove is on. Doris Mendiola. Hoffa Cuz. Henry Gonzalez out in the States. Nick Perlosky asking, AG, where's the broom? You've got to find it. Nick, what do you mean the broom? Do we need to clean sweep something, or is this a witch analogy? What are you doing here? I see Vicky Ganashis, and as I said, there's Daryl Taggarty, Debbie Canata, Cynthia Sabran, Treltis, Krista Kaiser, Gaza, May Conception. I told you Ted was there. Brad's there. Albert Eliason is there. Joe and Goko, Fran Lizamba. Wait, there's more. Helen Santos, Tom Bloss. Yeah, the General's boy. Janae Uggan, Mark Cruz is listening. There's Nate DeKnight from GVB checking in. Andy Tydenko, Ursel Cook Jr., Eunice Mendiola. And the list will go on. I want to thank everybody for chiming in on the Facebook Live here this morning. I like company, and I think you know that. 20 away from so on the way home last night, I got the hungries, and I got hungry for a very specific thing, and it was a chicken pot pie from KFC. You know, it's one of those when you've got to have it, you've got to have it, and it doesn't matter where on Guam you are. You will drive to the nearest KFC to get your hands around that. And you know what's going to happen is now that they're serving breakfast, I think there's going to be a whole nother round of things to crave for at KFC. Frank Cruz is on the line, longtime supervisor, manager, employee, and plank owner of the shop. Started selling back when the Colonel was just a captain in the KFC Army. Good morning, Frank. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Ryan. How you doing?
Not bad. I wanted to take an opportunity to congratulate you and Lars and the entire KFC team for this. This is a gargantuan change here. A lot of people might think a KFC is just a lunchtime place, a dinner time place, some place to go when you're doing Sunday at the beach and you know you want to feed people, so you grab a couple of buckets. And now you've got a breakfast menu.
Yes, it's been over 6 years in the planning. We've been wanting to do breakfast. If you've traveled in Asia, you'll know that KFC does breakfast AM all over Asia, and so we've been wanting to roll out breakfast, another service that we'd love to provide, but we just needed to make sure it all worked out well, the right products and the equipment and all. And we're very happy with the results, and if you haven't tried it, you need to. I heard you did try. You weren't able to make the.
Well, yeah, because you had it while I was on the air, so it's not like I can just jump out and head over to the KFC. But it was brought to me. So the first question I've got for you is: I work until 10. When do I get and what time? Kevin Kerrigan is going, and delivery. Can we get delivery like we do at lunchtime? But so when does the breakfast end?
It ends at 10, unfortunately, but it is something we're talking about. We normally open at 10 for lunch, and so when we started breakfast, it was just obvious to say, okay, let's go 6 to 10. But it is something that we're talking about now. See, we wanted to extend breakfast a little bit longer. And as far as delivery, right now we're only delivering in the Tamuning and Inigo area, but we're working our way around. We'll probably hit Manilao next, and just kind of work the island around. We want to make sure that we're able to cover the delivery area. So it's something that, both breakfast and delivery, you have to, there's a lot of execution, and we just want to make sure we're going to provide that service, that we're the best at it. And so that's the reason why we haven't rolled it all out.
Well, let me get into some of the menu items here. You can get waffles. You can get waffles at KFC. This is so cool. You get the waffle offerings, and I love the sausages. That was my favorite. I enjoyed eating the sausage. Of course, you can get Spam. There's a fried rice that you guys make, and I tell you what, if you do your fried rice as well as KFC has done red rice over all of these years, oh my God.
Yes. Yeah, we've got chicken fried rice, and the waffles they're Belgian waffles. So we, you really don't need any maple syrup, but we have it. If you'd like, we've got strawberry Belgian waffles, blueberry Belgian waffles with whipped cream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not going to be able to get Belgian waffles for under $5 anywhere on the island but KFC.
Well, the thing is, you're thinking in terms of fast food breakfast. This is not fast food breakfast. This is KFC breakfast, and I want to say that there's a distinction. What's that, Mike?
Not only that, but they have gravy.
And there's gravy. Yes, you do a white gravy.
Yes, the country gravy is a hit. The country fried steak with the country gravy and white rice, that has been a bestseller so far. That and our local deluxe, people really love that. So it's going well, and the price again, even for the country fried steak, $3.95. Nowhere on the island are you going to be able to match or come close to that price. So.
Now, what about this Aris Caldo here?
Yeah. So
how does you've got Belgian waffles and then you've got the Aris Caldo, and I'm going, there's a couple of cultures that are mashed together at KFC.
Exactly. We do that with our regular menu, red rice, and caligoon we serve. We're part of international, and we know our customers. Our customers want local. They have local flavors. So the arroz caldo or the chicken congee is a hit as well. People are getting a lot of responses. They all obviously they want the dried garlic and the other ingredients that go along with it. It's a little more difficult for us to try to get all of those, but the flavors are right on. Everybody that's tried it has really enjoyed that.
Daryl wants to know: do you still have chilaquiles?
In and out. That's a limited time offer type of item, and that item, although it was done very well, it's the locals know chilaquiles, and but besides the locals, to try to get it out there is something that we really need to. Is something we're working on how to get people to try it.
Yeah, the marketing is a little bit tricky. I mean, you got to know it before you jump into it, and so exactly. I get you. So I mean, here's the thing: is you've got sit down versions of breakfast that you can have. You get the eggs, obviously, and sausage. You can get spam, and there's bacon and fried rice. You can get the waffles and different variations of those meals. And if you're on the go, as many people are in the morning, of course, you get the biscuits, and there's different versions of that, and even the chicken wraps. You can get a sausage wrap and a chicken breakfast wrap, so you can drive with one hand and eat with the other.
Correct. We have iced coffee now. The one item.
Wait, you said you have iced coffee?
We have iced coffee. We started iced coffee as well. I had a meeting early with all my managers, and they were all drinking. I'm a hot coffee kind of guy, and I was drinking hot coffee, but the rest of my managers all had iced coffee. I said, we have to have iced coffee. And so we've rolled that out, and that also has been well received. And so we're going to sell iced coffee all day long. And we're still adjusting certain things that we think we can manage and execute properly past breakfast. So we think we can do that we know we can do that with iced coffee and coffee. So
of course. Yeah, because that's just something that you've got. It's in the building. So and iced coffee is not. There's no rocket science behind that. It's not like you've got to retrain 100 people to do it. 7:48, and Frank. So again, Lars and you and the rest of the team. I know you guys have worked really, really hard on this. I did want to give you an opportunity in drive time while people are on the road to make a run to the nearest KFC and see about what it is that they might be able to try out. I mean, there's everything that I tried that Vanessa was able to bring back the other day, I liked. And if I liked it, and I've been a fan of KFC since before, I think everybody else is going to love it too.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get the whole menu down to you, Ray, so you'll really get to try it, you and Mike and over there. And it is, we really worked hard. It's really good. The prices are spot on. The flavors are right on where we just on our first week, so we're trying to execute everything well with speed and flavors. This is not, like you said, it's not fast food. You have to be a chef, because when you make congee, when you make the different the waffles, these are all scratch. These are not something that you would. We had to buy commercial waffle makers and just it's a real recipe.
Oh, so it's not like something. It's not like what's the thing that my daughter likes, the one that you put in the toaster?
Not at all.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Not at all. We have people down there. We've got these double-sided waffle commercial makers and making those. We worked hard to try to perfect that, and it's taken us. We wasted a lot of waffles to make sure and make sure it was done right. So these are all done by scratch.
Hey, hold on a second. I got Bob Kelly on the line, wants to ask for something. Bob, go ahead. You're on with Frank.
Yes. During Lent, I get by your restaurant several times a week because you have seafood Calaguan. You have those wonderful wasabi fish sandwiches. You have popcorn shrimp. Is there any chance you could have some of those things year-round so we don't just have to wait for the special season to be able to get them?
Yeah, we've thought about that. There's some other people that have asked certain items to continue, but again, it's trying to execute everything. We've got original recipe crispy, and we've got such a huge menu that trying to execute everything with excellence. Sometimes there's a challenge when you add another menu item, when you add 2 or 3, and so for us, it's easier to say, okay, we're going to do it for the time during Lent to execute that, and then really work hard to make sure we get all the seafood items correct, as well as our full menu. We continue our full menu, and so it is a challenge to try to keep an enormous menu, especially when we might have some space constraints and so forth. We hear that same comment all year round about trying to get some of these items.
If you could just keep a couple of those on the menu, I really miss them year around, and you are one of the best fast foods during Lent, and it would be nice if you could have some of them at least off and on throughout the year.
Oh, I appreciate that. We'll definitely put it on the list of seeing which items we can do that.
Now, please talk to your team members, see if they might back me up on that, and you could introduce some.
Oh, they will. I think they will. I think they enjoy it. Which one of those items did you like the best?
Oh, the wasabi fish sandwich is to die for, and I love your Calaguan wraps that are seafood.
Okay. So I think that can possibly be done with the wasabi fish sandwich, because if we do 1 or 2 of those, then it'll be easier.
As opposed to bringing out the full Lenten menu and making that year round. 7:52. Hey Bob, some interesting points you brought up there, Frank. I appreciate your time here this morning. I'm going to let you get back to fixing up some breakfast. And my only comments are that we need to extend the Tamuning delivery area up past John F. Kennedy High School.
I see, yeah, and
just, maybe 300 yards, 400 yards, just from there to my front door.
Gotcha.
All right.
I think we can work on that. We'll work on that. The main thing is we're delivering out of scooters, and I'm just trying to make sure our drivers are safe out there, and especially with all this rain. So
yes, because they're carrying my food. That's why we want that's precious cargo here, Frank.
Right.
I'm gonna run. I'll talk to you pretty soon, my friend.
All right, thank you so much for letting me talk about the food, and thanks to all the customers coming in and trying it out as well.
Gotcha. There's the biggest fan for KFC. Frank has been there for, it feels like 1,000 years, doesn't it? 888-8255, and I appreciate that. We've all got our favorites. Daryl says, yeah, best fast food all year round. And Uncle Ted asking, can we get a free meal if we use Ramon's name? They'll throw you right out. You say, Ray Gibson, I listen to him on The Point every day. Please leave. Please, we don't need the disturbance here in the building. It is 7:53 in the morning, 888-825-988-5874. If you want to send something on the radio station WhatsApp this morning, understand that there is a power outage in the Mighty area. You know what? We had a glitch down here. I don't know if it's affecting the traffic signal in front of us. I'm not seeing. Oh, is it all right? You took a look? Okay, so our signal works out here on Marine Corps Drive. But looking at traffic, 8, 10, and 16, while I have the gizmo open, from about where the post office is, right up to Happy Mart, there is a big red line, which indicates to me that I've got some serious slowdown in that direction. Marine Corps Drive southbound from about where Santos Hill is to about where St. John's is moving rather slow here this morning as well. Route 8 from, let me see, where's that intersection that takes you into Tortu has got to back up south, and I think that's the line that takes you just past Cars Plus and on to Tiedzen. But your mileage may vary through there. Just expect delays if you're on the road at 7:54. Some of that might be brought on by just a lot of traffic out there. Some of it might also be brought on as a result of the issues with the Guam Power Authority. We'll see if we can find Art Paris to get it. That's him now, Art Paris, with an update on what's happening with the power. How come my lights blinked, Art?
We had a transmission line outage rate that took out one of our power plants. We're in the process of restoration right now. I'm just advising GDOE about some circuits that are affected with that. So everything should be restored within an hour.
Okay, let me see what's my Facebook Live telling me. Like I said, we've got issues up in the Manila, in Mighty area, power glitch out in Ordot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parts of Tumuning and areas of Balaso are affected by this. And like I mentioned, everything should be restored within an hour.
What tripped? Which power plant?
One of our power plants on a PD island was affected by this. I'm getting confirmation of exactly which one, but it is as a result of a transmission line outage that affected it. So everything should be restored within an hour.
Okay, so not too many difficulties, and the areas that are without power should be being restored almost immediately.
That's correct. We're in that process right now. We know schools are a part of these circuits, and we're working to restore them at this point.
Roger that. 7:55, and appreciate your time. Good luck to you. If you got any other updates for the GPA customers, give me a ring.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Mark Parrish from the Guam Power Authority. Always nice to know if something like that happens. He's got us on speed dial here on the point, give you an idea of what that was. And so still don't know which power plant it was that tripped off, but I'm trying to remember how many we've still got down there. Down in the PD area, right?
Yeah, one.
Just one of them's in mothballs. I don't know. The other's on shore power or something like that. At any rate, so where do we get to go in the next couple of minutes? Unfortunately, don't have a lot of time to spin anything up. I will say how interesting it is, though, that somebody over at the Attorney General's office woke up long enough to be able to say, we're still looking at it. The whole gun grab thing. This is it spun up as a whisper campaign. That's what I'm referring to it as. And they weren't doing any kill death hit pieces against Ray Tenorio leading up to the the primary election. But there was a whisper campaign going around that before the end of the business day on Tuesday, they're going to find Ray Tenorio and visit upon him with chrome bracelets and cuffs, and there was going to be some kind of hell to pay. And everybody, I ignored it. I ignored it because I got what it was. I recognized what it was immediately. This is a whisper campaign. This is just something that has got people with too much time on their hands coming up with all kinds of sinister things floating around. And so obviously I didn't do anything with it. There are a couple of other people that had. That were kind of, well, maybe there is something to this. So they started asking around over at the at the governor's office, the lieutenant governor's office. They said, no, there's nothing to see here. If you've got questions, we think that the appropriate place to direct those questions is the Attorney General's office. Tricky to do so because the Attorney General, when they first started talking about the gun grab investigation, said, we're not talking. We're going to wait until we have concluded our investigation because we don't want to politicize this. And here's the thing, in my mind, it's been politicized. This is now, and I told Ray Tenorio when I asked him a couple of weeks ago at the one-on-one thing over at the mall, I said, you need to tell the Attorney General's office to go faster on this investigation because every day that it is out there is another day where fertile minds are going to come up with their own conclusions to the investigation, which will take it right up to a visit from you by the Attorney General and a policeman with chrome handcuffs for you. With the chrome bracelets, that's because that's the way people are thinking. And you have the same way that Telena Nelson was asking for an update. I thought the Tenorio Adda should be just as vocal and visibly vocal about saying, "Hey, can we talk about this now? Can we finally get something going? Clear my name. Why don't you?" You know, it's like I always tell people, if my body is ever found and it looks like a suicide, find my murderer because I'm not depressed. I'm not suicidal. That means that somebody is deliberately offed me and tried to make it look like that. And that's where Ray is right now. Absent any answer and any conclusion from this investigation, whether it's misdemeanor or a felony or federal charges need to be brought, he needs to get out from under this. And yeah, that's a dick over at the Attorney General's office. And this comment from Carlina, as much as I like her, is in my mind nothing more than tapping the snooze bar. We're not ready yet. 5 more minutes, Mom. Tap the snooze bar. Go to sleep for another 9 minutes, and we'll see what happens. You know, we're only 69 days away from the general election. It's already politicized. Make an answer. 8 o'clock in the morning, the radio station is KUSG. Got you. The point, as a matter of fact. I was going to say Fox, the Fox rig, but we're not the Fox. We can be if we want to because we play them live every hour. In fact, I've got one coming up next. Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post. He's coming up on the other side of that. And Blake Watson and I will pretend to talk about sports until about 8:30.
Heading to the polls, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Primaries today in Florida and in Arizona, where voting problems were reported in the Phoenix area. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, in areas of Phoenix, a contractor Maricopa County has worked with previously was to make sure precincts were up and running. County Recorder Adrian Fontes.
Unfortunately, that contractor doesn't appear to have deployed the amount of resources necessary to get us where we needed to go.
A lawsuit is being considered against that contractor who was not named. Key races are also playing out in Florida. Adam Putnam and Ron DeSantis seek the GOP nod for governor. DeSantis has the president's backing. Governor Rick Scott is expected to easily win his primary for the U.S. Senate. Lisa.
Gernal in Oklahoma, there's a primary for the race for governor. Current Governor Republican Mary Fallon is term limited, and there's also a primary for 5 House seats. President Trump accusing Google of rigging searches to hide positive news about him and accusing other social media of trying to silence conservatives.
I think what Google and what others are doing, if you look at what's going on at Twitter, if you look at what's going on in Facebook, they better be careful because you can't do that to people.
In a statement, Google said politics don't factor in how search results appear. Paying tribute to Senator John McCain, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's putting together a bipartisan group to honor the late senator.
I'd like to put together an official group that can elaborate and bring together ideas from current members, former colleagues, and friends.
Yesterday, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer suggested renaming the Russell Senate Office Building, where McCain had his office, the McCain Office Building. McConnell says the group will convene after McCain's burial. Wall Street at the close. Major indexes closed mostly higher. The Dow added 14, the Nasdaq gained 12. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco, 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Justice Department official Bruce Orr before House members in a closed-door session today, answering questions about his relationship with Christopher Steele, the man who came up with the so-called Trump dossier.
One of the main headlines we've learned is that based on Bruce Orr's testimony, members of the FBI knew well in advance of the surveillance warrant for Carter Page in October of 2016 that there were credibility issues and that the British spy behind the dossier had this real animus for candidate Trump. I mean, that's okay because the FISA court can be told about that information and they can weigh the credibility of the information or whether it's tainted. But what we learned today is that that did not happen.
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Washington. No Democrats attended today's meeting as a matter of protest, but their staffers took part. The owner of a Texas company that makes untraceable 3D guns says he's begun selling the blueprints through his website to anyone in the U.S. who wants to make one, despite a federal court order barring him from posting the plans online. The first lawsuits filed in the wake of a deadly shooting at a gaming event in Jacksonville, Florida.
2 killed, at least 10 injured in the mass shooting Sunday at the Jacksonville Madden gaming event that a Florida law firm contends
could have and should have been prevented had there been the proper safety measures in place to prevent this tragedy from occurring.
Lawyer Matt Morgan saying a negligence lawsuit will soon be filed against organizers of that event on behalf of multiple victims. The shooter also killed after police say he turned his gun on himself. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Movie review company Rotten Tomatoes looking to diversify its critic roles after a recent study found the site's reviews of top movies were heavily male-dominated. Rotten Tomatoes executives say the company is committed to advancing inclusion. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet summer deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra this summer with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit GTA.net for more details.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sport Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sport Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Guam police officers assigned to the Election Tabulation Center on Saturday have documented concerns with a nervous Guam Election Commission employee who they said gave conflicting statements on changing 2 laptops connected to the tabulation machines. Saturday morning, while the primary election was underway, a GEC employee reportedly told the police officers that he was switching tabulation computers with newly bought computers because the older ones had crashed. The GEC employee reportedly said he had purchased 2 new Asus gaming laptops from Megabyte to replace the Lenovo ThinkPad computers that had been used in previous elections. According to one officer's account, which cites additional police officer observations, the GEC employee appeared nervous and gave conflicting statements. Another officer checked Megabyte, which denied selling the laptop brand and model that the GEC employee said he bought there. The Lenovo laptops that the GEC employee wanted to change out because they'd crashed were later found to have normally started when powered up. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, however, said during the test run, the older computers slowed down, so we rushed out to get the new computers just in case. In the end, however, Pangilinan said the computers attached to the tabulation machines were not switched out. The new laptops were tested as a backup only, she said, but the Election Commission ended up not using the new laptops because they were based on Windows 10 and the disk drives did not match. There was nothing suspicious, said Pangilinan. The Consolidated Commission on Utilities has adopted a $1.2 billion upgrade plan for the island's water and wastewater systems. That means a new round of rate increases over the next 20 years if the Public Utilities Commission approves the plan. The plan calls for the upgrades to be funded through a combination of federal loans and grants, internal funds, and borrowed bond money. The proposed rate increases for the first 7 years would be between 4 and 4.5% each year, and then would taper off to 3% annually after that. The plan involves about $109 million in court-ordered projects, as well as $830 million in rehabilitation upgrades. The rest of the spending plan involves quality improvement projects or system expansions. The new 5-year rate plan will now be presented to the PUC for final action. We'll have more news after this.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, it's a Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
My Big Hot Pastrami?
No, back up. My Subway Big Hot Pastrami.
Get your own Subway Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Enjoy yours with mustard and pickles. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location. It's so good you won't want to share. For a limited time only. Subway, make it what you want.
News time here at The Point is 11 minutes past 8 a.m. Pope Francis told reporters Sunday that he will personally decide the appeal of suspended Guam Archbishop Anthony Apparon. Aboard his flight back to Rome from Ireland, the Pope was asked by reporters whether special tribunals should be convened to judge bishops and hold them accountable in sexual abuse cases. According to the transcript of his remarks published by the Catholic News Agency, the Pope said many bishops have been judged, and he mentioned Apparon, saying he has taken the case upon himself rather than sending it to the Council of Appeals that usually hears cases against priests. The Pope said a commission of canonists is helping him, and they will make a recommendation on Apparon's case in about a month. Then he, the Pope, will issue his final judgment. On the one hand, the Pope called Apparon's case complicated, but then said it was not difficult because the evidence is clear. Because of the results of the first tribunal, which found Apparon guilty of certain unspecified allegations after conducting an investigation of multiple allegations of sexual abuse filed against Apparon. The tribunal's judgment banished Apparon from Guam and stripped him of his title, but Apparon appealed, prompting the suspension of the sanctions against him until a final resolution of the case, which the Pope now says will be announced next month. A bill that would shield a mother from criminal liability if she feels compelled to give up her newborn child was approved by lawmakers yesterday. Senator Mary Torres introduced the Newborn Infant Safe Haven Act. The intent, Torres said, is to protect newborns from harm by providing a safe and anonymous means for mothers in distress to relinquish their child to medical professionals. The senator originally introduced the bill last year, but it was not acted on. She reintroduced it in June after a newborn boy was left on the doorstep of a stranger's home in Dededo. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Right now with a look at weather.
Well, thanks very much. Partly cloudy skies today with isolated showers. Expect some isolated thunderstorms over the island. Light and variable winds. Today's highs around 89 degrees. How hot did it get yesterday? It was 90 or so on the thermometer in the car. Overnight lows tonight, maybe 77 degrees. We'll get to those 77 degrees after sunset at 6:34. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:09. Weather radar is up with the interpretation. Here's meteorologist Michael Knight.
And we got a few showers popping up, and there's really no rhyme or reason to it. Just a little more convergence down to our south and up north of even Rota, between Rota and Saipan. We can look for more of this as the day goes on, and these showers will be moving very slowly. So look for them to kind of pile up on the west side of the island again and give that side of the island a pretty good dose of rain later on this afternoon. Maybe even some thunder.
And there's a very good chance that somebody might send you something that has got the look of some kind of official weather warning, and it might freak you out. But what we're talking about is something that is already north and very east of us right now, hundreds of miles away. Where's this thing going to end up?
Yeah, Tropical Storm 25W, Jebby. It's going to pass north of the, what is it, Agrihan, the northernmost northern Mariana
This
Island.
thing is going to go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So-
it'll almost be into the Japanese island soon.
Yeah. And as you can see, it's structured much differently than the last storm, so we're not going to get that big thing of rain like we had before. Just an uptick in some showers, maybe Friday, Saturday.
Gotcha. That's news and weather at 8:14 together here on The Point.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Wednesday. It's King's for lunch at Wednesdays. Pork sinigang today. Tomorrow is meatloaf, and Friday it's beef tinaktak. People like it when I start talking about pork sinigang because they know that we're halfway through the week. Right? You can almost see it from here. You can smell, there's the weekend. Smells like the beach, doesn't it? Choose a pick 2 or pick 3 combo if that doesn't work for you for lunch at King's.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Portions of the program brought to you by Security Title, making sure you actually own the property you think you just bought, and Atkins Kroll, asking if you want to win a 2019 Lexus ES350. You can, and support the Red Cross at the same time. Raffle tickets on sale at AK. The drawing is going to be September the 22nd. You need not be present to win.
Are you paying too much for power? Do you want to reduce your energy costs and save some money? Then call Micronesia Renewable Energy and get a solar energy system installed on your roof. Whether it's ownership or a zero money down program, there's never been a better time to go solar. Sign up in August and MRE will pay 1 month of your power bill so you can save even more money. Not a homeowner? No problem. Refer homeowners to MRE and get paid $400 cash. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice. Morrico Equipment stocks and sells a wide variety of heavy equipment parts. They sell heavy equipment parts to keep Guam trucking, building, digging, pushing, grading, protecting, and patrolling. If you are looking for service, repair, or replacement parts for your heavy equipment, call Morrico on Epow Road at 649-1946 or click on morricoequipment.com. Morrico Equipment. Heavy equipment parts.
It's time for the Wendy's break, and you're going to be hungry later on, and I don't know how much you've got left over from payday. But if you got $4, you probably got $4 in the ashtray of the car, right? You remember when they used to call them ashtrays? Back in the olden days, now it's a thing where the
Change holder.
It's a thing that you used to be able to put like cigarette butts and roaches in, but now it's just quarters and nickels and dimes, right?
Yeah, some cars just don't even have the space anymore.
Kings, here's what I want you to swing by Wendy's. They've got the 4 for $4 menu thing that is working for you. All kinds of favorites. They got 8 different items that you can choose from, and they all end up with the nuggets and the fries and the drinks. You get the 4 items. You get the sandwich and all of that stuff for $4. Great way to get a deal at Wendy's.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters.
Hold on a second. I gotta do some complicated internet stuff here. I just took a screen cap of a picture here that was on Facebook. Now that I'm going to send it to the radio station's WhatsApp page here, the Point WhatsApp, and the number on that one is 988-5874. And the reason why I want to do that is so that I will be able to get that image online for you, because I'm not sure whether Blake has gotten the thing as well. But I have been tagged in this post, and I want to see if Blake understands what's going on in this one as well. So let me get the picture up on the Facebook so that everybody can see it. And there, so online now, it says, Hapaday, Guam Familia and Friends, just a gentle reminder of Masaketa's friendly soccer game, which will take place today at 7 p.m. Do you know about this?
No.
Game location, GFA, 230 Harmon Loop Road, Dededo. It would be awesome if we can watch and support the team as they prepare for their tournament in Mongolia next week. Do you know about that?
I have heard about that.
Si Joos Maasi to everyone who has shown love and support to my baby girl, Jenna Merrill, while she is on island. Hashtag Biba Guam, hashtag Biba Mascata, and hashtag Island Girl at Heart. Okay, so I'll send this to you next.
Okay,
because you have the knowings and the understandings about Muscata and all of that. And
that's
soccer, right?
That's the women's national team, by the way, for anybody who's just listening and not following along. And Miss Merrill, who is here, I believe I know her cousin because I saw an IG story from my friend Jess Merrill. Who is local here, and she was IG storing doing some tourist things, and it said with her cousin. So, and you said the last name was Merrill, right?
Yeah. So
I
must be of relations here. I'm looking at southbound Route 8, and we've got traffic backed up. Wow, this is coming in from a long way in. Most of Route 8 until you get to the Mighty McMobile intersection. Don't know. I'm sorry, that's northbound traffic. Don't know exactly what's going on. Don't know if it's an accident over on the way into Zalaguac Way, but if you're just in front of the fire station, there was something that went on, and it's got traffic backed up northbound again, Route 8 through all of the rest of that. But anyway, I wanted to make reference to it because apparently there's something big going on at the GFA this afternoon.
Oh yes, and it is so it's basically just a friendly, like Ray said, and I did know about the fact that their next round of actual counting tournament or counting games, I guess, via the tournament will be in Mongolia coming up very soon. So this is just kind of partly training, partly, some game experience, some team chemistry stuff and all that, and getting all the team. I'm sure the members that are off island all together and having them kind of play with some, cohesion and kind of getting everybody to get to know each other and, just further the team camaraderie.
Personally, I'll have a good time. So that's the important thing. All right.
I think it's BYOB out there, too.
8:21, time for sports with Blake. Okay, go.
Excuse me. So last night, excuse me. Gosh, little known fact about me, Ray. I'm a JFK alum. Did you know that?
I did not.
I am. And they lost last night. I watched their volleyball game as the undefeated, red-hot St. John Lady Knights came into the match in Tamuning. They visited the JFK Gymnasium, and they checked out with another win. That's 4 in a row. They rode the hot hand of Hallie Wigston, who, by the way, she's a junior now. Been covering her since she was a freshman, and she has gotten even better. And she's still got another year to go, so watch out for her next year. But they did take care of business in 3 suspenseful sets, 25-17, 19-25, and 25-15 the result. They face off against Sanchez. I believe that is on Friday night at home.
Gotcha.
So, no doubt that they'll be pretty well prepared for that one.
Yeah, and you want to talk about an incredible team of support from friends and family, John and the missus, and have always been looking out for that kid.
Oh yeah. And the interesting thing too is what actually happened last night with St. John, and kind of piggybacking off what you're saying, the home crowd. They were silent through the first set, but they made all the difference in the second. And the home crowd, there is power in numbers, and there's power in yelling, and the JFK faithful let their presence be felt in the second, and it helped them win.
That's it. I'll tell you what, I learned this from Riley Rigel when he was a coach of the Father Duenas basketball team when I was going. I didn't make the team, and therefore it was up to me with the other guys to support the guys when I went out for games. And so we turned ourselves into, it wasn't a cheer squad, it was like a cheer battalion, right? We had flags, we were out there with signs and doing all of that stuff, and win or lose, Riley always said, you guys don't realize, but the noise that you make, the sound of the support that you give to the team, that's good for a lot of points. So keep that up.
Yeah, it does definitely play a bigger role. When I was in high school, we were some kind of pesky, snarky suburban kids, and we used to do some mean things to during basketball and volleyball games in the gym.
we would all of a sudden, like whenever the visiting, I guess, team lineup would be announced, everybody, all the student section in the stands, we all had newspapers, and we would stand up, open our newspapers, and turn our back to the floor. And then of course, like when our lineup got announced, we'd cheer and go crazy. And then at the end, whether it be volleyball or it always happened in the gym because it's closer. You can hear things. Whether it be in basketball, boys or girls, or volleyball. Right when we knew our team was going to win, everybody would start shaking their car keys and chanting, "Start the bus." we start, just tell them, "Y'all can go ahead and go." We got
games.
this.
I love that. That's the best kind of trash talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
8:24 in the morning, and there's just thinking about the weekend coming up. I told you there's a big race that the Guam Running Club is going to be doing, 8.6 miles. We start at Ipao Beach and then run all the way up to Two Lovers Point and then come back. And so the fun part is the climb up Santos Hill.
Right.
No, it's not. That is not the fun part. The fun part is the run from the top of Santos Hill into Two Lovers Point. No, that's not, because there's this ridiculous rise just before you get to. The fun is when you turn around and you realize it's downhill. You realize it's downhill. But the problem is when you're a senior, right? You're running senior like myself.
I prefer to call you a master.
Okay, but numerically, I'm a senior. I don't want to run the master class. That's a lot of competition there. There's always been a lot of competition there. But you're trying to tell yourself, okay, I got to make up for going slow up the hills, and so you just tear yourself going down, and it is so hard on the shins and on the knees. But you absolutely got to do it. I highly recommend this race.
Yeah, it seems fun. And how often do you get to run up to Two Lovers Point? And
How often do you get an 8.6 mile run?
That's true.
There's not a whole lot of opportunities, and we're moving into where are we now? August, almost September, and there will be a number of longer races that will be coming up soon.
Is this kind of the season
half
for that?
Marathon is going to be coming up, so people need to put a little bit more mileage under their feet right now. And there's probably more than a handful of people that are training for races like in Honolulu, which will be middle of December. So right about now would be the start of your 17-week training program.
Okay, and that's so I was going to ask you. You answered my question. When is the Honolulu Marathon?
I don't have the date. Usually it's on my brother's birthday.
Oh, really?
I've had to miss my brother's birthday a couple of times so that I could attend to that. I don't have any plans to go to that. Yeah, I could be convinced to go.
Not that far away. You still got time.
It's 6 weeks worth, 16 weeks worth of training like a monk to get ready for a marathon. And you would start on a run like that, about 8 miles, and that's your quote long run for the first week. And if you can imagine, over the next 16 weeks, the runs get longer and longer and longer, and it's not small increments. It's not like we're going from 8 to 9. We're going 8 to 10 and 10 to 13, and so there's, depending on which kind of plan you're doing. Plus, you've got to work on your diet at the same time, because you want to be light all the way through this.
I saw your friend of the show, Manami, cut out sugar. Seems like in her IG stories, everybody around her was eating sugar but her. She must be training for something.
Like a monk,
like a monk. That's what it is. And I follow a guy, Cameron Haynes. He's a bow hunter on Instagram. I just found him randomly, but he's also an ultra marathon runner. And the way that he gears up for an ultra marathon, which is like a 200-mile race, he runs a marathon a day. Instead of the 8-mile training, he does a marathon a day, and he works a full-time job. He's just kind of a regular dude. But anyway, pretty interesting.
No, there's nothing regular about those guys. Absolutely. That's like
a marathon a day.
It's like Maria Pangolin saying, "There's nothing suspicious here." What are you talking about? No, there's absolutely. Your brain's got to bend a certain way, and you must have. He might have a job, but trust me, he's got money coming in from somewhere else.
Oh no, he's a sponsored bow hunter as well.
That's like 4 hours a day, in the very least, on the road. December 9th, according to my friend Heidi, says, "Don't do it. That's not normal." Well, don't do it. Stick around here. There's a couple of, but I don't know.
Well, it's nice that time of year.
It's been nice that time of year. First time I ran the marathon there, 4 hours and 27 minutes. I was very, very happy with that time, and the temps were in the very low 70s. And next year I showed up and the temps were in the low 80s, and I had not trained as vigorously because I thought, hey, it'd be like running in air conditioning. And I remember getting off the airplane, talking to my friends, going, "Hey, isn't it normally cooler here after you get out of the wiki? Isn't it a little bit cooler here?" And I didn't sweat that entire time I was in Hawaii.
How was the course there? Pretty tough? Pretty challenging? when you ran? Did they change it? Or is it pretty much the same?
It's not a very, very challenging course. No. The most challenging part for me were the last 5 miles of the course. You know, because by then, you're already tired, and then you've got this one uphill thing that you've got to do to get from one side of Diamond to the other, and that hill never seems to end. And so you're going. You're 18, 19 miles plus. Yeah, when, you know, all you can think of is cold beer. That's the only.
That's it.
But then, of course, that's all I ever think of. Come to think of it, anyway. 8:29 in the morning. That's Blake Watson. He takes care of sports for us here on the Point. He does the regular morning show over at Star 101. So you're and happy to, you know, if I ever get quiet around here, you want to hear what the kids are listening to. That's where you jump into.
Oh yeah, we're having fun over there. I got a friend because of technology. I shouted out technology on my show earlier. Because of technology, I have a friend that I lost connection with because I moved away from my hometown in 3rd grade.
Yep.
And she found me on Facebook maybe, I don't know, a year ago, and now her and her kids making dinner tonight in Texas, jamming out to me on Star 101 this morning.
Isn't that nice? Got a bunch of people, old friends of mine, that are off island, and they're jamming out to me here on 93.3 The Point. All right, that's Blake Watson. He takes care of sports, and Kevin Kerrigan's got his last look at headlines coming up. My last look at traffic as well. Stick around.
Stay clean and connected with Docomo Pacific and mobile. For a limited time, stop by any participating mobile store and get a free chamois when you purchase $10 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid load. Keep your car looking spotless when you go prepaid with the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. You plus Docomo Pacific, better together. Offer valid while supplies last. Some conditions apply.
Just going to get an update real quick on the online poll question at thepoint.gu. Should the GEC conduct a recount on the race between Lou and Frank? Last time I looked at it, over 100% said yes. Over 100%, sorry. 100% said yes. Have not yet chimed in on anybody that's saying no, and there are a couple of interesting comments. Let me see if I can refresh the comment list and see if I can approve a couple more, because I got a feeling that there's a lot of people that are of the opinion, just feels like there needs to be more conversation about what's going on here. Recount and silence the critics and conspiracy theorists, says Ken. Recount the results so that this issue is put to rest. There are too many other important issues of our island that need attention. Come on, man. All right, I've saved up those changes. You'll be able to see those and a few other comments at thepoint.gu and get your vote in. Do I have traffic right now? I'll do that later. Okay, so now from the Guam Daily Post, Kevin Kerrigan, brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Daily Post this morning, the great-grandmother of homicide victim Timika J.D. Nauta said the family is now living in fear in the house where the 15-year-old girl was killed. 82-year-old Maria Ganji told the Guam Daily Post they're scared that somebody might attack them in the home. Police are conducting a homicide investigation into the June 16th death of the girl with the help of the FBI, but they have yet to make any arrests or confirm exactly how Nauta died. Ganji telling the Guam Daily Post that her great-granddaughter was cut on the back of her head and neck. She said she's dissatisfied with the lack of answers from police. Guam police have asked the FBI to help with testing certain evidence in the case. The FBI declined to comment for the Post on the results of that testing or whether or not the results have been turned over to Guam police. Lawmakers yesterday approving two measures that amend mistakes in the 2019 fiscal year budget, which they passed, and Governor Eddie Calvo allowed to lapse into law last week. Senator Benjamin Cruz introduced a bill 340 to correct a clerical error. There was a no missing, said Speaker Cruz. He took full responsibility for the oversight. The governor said the absence of that no would have eliminated hundreds of unclassified GovGuam jobs. Senator Tom Atta then proposed the second corrective measure, Bill number 339. It removes the hiring prohibition mistakenly imposed on various autonomous agencies that don't get any money from GovGuam's general fund. The bill also lifts the ban on hiring replacements at public safety and public health agencies to allow them to fill vacancies due to retirements. And before the close of session yesterday, Senator Regine Bisco Lee, joined by Senators Michael San Nicolas and Talina Nelson, rose to bid farewell to Speaker Cruz, who was elected public auditor on Saturday in a special election held concurrently with the primary. The Speaker is expected to resign when the election results are finally certified in a few weeks. This was the last time for Speaker Cruz to preside over a legislative session. Senator Lee told the Speaker, "Our community is better because you've been a part of it." She highlighted the wide variety of bills that the Speaker has introduced that she said were visionary, progressive ideas that were before their time. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 8:34, and I think at least one of our astute listeners here at the Point has now got a response, mathematically certified response on what to do with the recount, and you can see it on Facebook Live right now. He's attributing it to Albert Einstein. So you have the ASUS minus E equals MC squared plus 260 equals recount. So if there was any doubt in the mind of the folks over at the Election Commission what to do and what the appropriate kind of mathematics is, I think we have now resolved that issue. Now, there is another poll that is out there I wanted to share with the listeners, and I'll do that here in just a second. Let me just, I got to key this out and then key something back in. Stand by one. Sometimes it takes me a second to get to where I need to be. Yeah, there it is. There's a poll, not our poll, at the point.gu. And this one here, they ask, I think this is the PDN poll, who will be Guam's next governor? And it's between Lulian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. Ray Tenorio ahead by 260 votes. I'm just kidding. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio ahead 10,766 votes against Lulian Guerrero's 941 votes. Okay, everybody, we're shutting down the bank early. Everybody get to your computers and start clicking. For as many computers as they have on as many floors of the Bank of Guam main branch in Agani and all the other Bank of Guams that are spread out, they ought to be able to get to about 11,000 in the next, 20 minutes, half hour. Preceding newscast brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. That's Kevin Kerrigan.
Join Kathy and her team at Furniture Kathy Style for their grand opening this week. Their store is packed with fabulous furniture from brand names like Ashley, Klausner, Violino Leathers, and more, with prices that would blow your mind. Huge discounts throughout the store, such as their 4-piece bedroom set from Holland House, starting at $5.99. If you're looking for quality, style, and affordable furniture, come into Furniture Kathy Style in Hagåtña, open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
iConnect time. It's 8:36 in the morning. iConnect is the practical choice. Don't think you ought to pay any more than you should for things like push-to-talk and mobile and internet plans. So find out today why iConnect is the practical choice.
My wife and I are really enjoying retirement. We hope to travel more to see our grandkids. But in the meantime, we're being smarter with our money. We switched our internet plan to iConnect and pay only $45 a month for unlimited service. Now we can video chat with the grandkids whenever we want. And our connection is great in Assen. Let's be practical. Why pay more when we can pay less with iConnect? Visit them at the Micronesia Mall, Agani Shopping Center, or the main office in Upper Tumon. iConnect is the practical choice.
The portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at Subway. You know, they got something new for you over at Subway. Actually, it's not new. It's our favorite, and it's back. It's the Big Hot Pastrami. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location today. It's so good, you're not going to want to share. For a limited time only, Subway. Make it what you want.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit TakeCareAsia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
Okay, even though I didn't put it on social media, I get credit because I actually said the word earthquake into the radio. I get credit. I looked at Mike and I said earthquake, and then I turned on the microphone and I said earthquake. So I get credit. I don't care what happens on who. No, it's a big deal. This is like, it's like when the price of gas goes up, everybody fights each other to be the first one on social media to say the price went up. And so since we're on Facebook Live and I actually said the word earthquake, I get credit for it. I get to be the governor for the day. 8:38 in the morning. Okay, my first decree as governor of the day is recount the damn ballots. Okay. Thank you very much. Portions of the program brought to you by American Water Tech. It's smarter water, better water. Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs. American President Lines, they're shipping the future. And Micronesia Renewable Energy. What kind of crazy morning is this here? Got these computer things that get brought up. The election, the power goes out up in a bunch of different places because something broke down at Petey, and now we've got an earthquake here. Anybody want to take a guess on the number?
No, I didn't even feel it. Technically, no. You said it, and then I could see my monitors kind of wiggling. So I'm guessing 4 or less.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's been a full morning because I actually spilled something on the board here.
Really?
Yeah, it's working now, but...
Oh, that's good.
I think I'm going to have to take a little bit apart and clean it later.
I think so. Let me see. Traffic was ugly from about the Mighty McMobile to the intersection over by, it's over by the fire station, but it looks like that's slowing. Traffic is picking up. There's still a lot of cars there, but at least they're moving the speed limit. Marine Corps Drive over by Adelope has also got a little bit of a slowdown, and where else am I seeing some traffic here? A little bit in front of us, DPW. I'm not seeing anything slowing down, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. There's a lot of cars on the road because the earthquake, but everybody's going the speed limit, so it's all right. 20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning. I'll be right back.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
Somebody sent me a text that says, it was an earthquake, and I wrote back, I'm okay. I want you to know I'm all right. Can we do that? Can we go on Facebook and mark ourselves safe in the earthquake of 2018? The post-election earthquake. It ain't the only thing shaking. There's a lot of people that have gotten having a good time. Having a good time with this ride. I know I am. Look, I understand the concept. It's, democracy in this republic. And we all want to know that our votes counted. We all want to know that the system is all right. And I think the system is all right. I'm not completely absorbed in the idea that there are these controversies. I will allow you and would suggest that it's not a bad thing to ponder the idea that maybe there is something that bears a second look. This conversation that we had about the mishandling, the unfortunate mishandling, it didn't sound like it was anybody's fault. They just weren't following the instructions, mishandled these provisional ballots down in Agate, and they were all miscategorized, and the numbers wouldn't add up for a long time. But it's not so much that. I can look the other way and forgive that and say, well, you know what? It's not like we do this every day. And it's not like you do it every day. And mistakes are going to get made. And as long as there's a plan to figure out how to deal with that mistake, we'll just do it. But it looked like there was an attempt to cover up the mistake. And not only cover up the mistake down in Agate, but to blame it on a police officer. And that's what was reported in yesterday's Guam Daily Post. And in today's, officers report concerns over the GEC computers. We spend all kinds of money over there. So the computers aren't working? We're worried about the state of these, they weren't able to get a Windows 10 machine running on it. I mean, how old are they? So maybe it was time for an upgrade, but, an upgrade the morning of the election with an untested operating system. And I don't know about incompatibilities of, disk drives. I don't know what that means. And I'm wondering, is it common to use for those pieces of equipment? Would you trust anything in the Windows family for election gear? Right?
Man, I'd be running Linux.
Yeah,
it's so much better, much more stable.
Right.
I mean, not everybody knows how to use it, and they don't make many programs, but yeah, that would be much better for an election computer.
That's
Can't
what,
hack it either.
yeah, that's what I was, I'm not like super like computer guru.
No,
I know
me
my
either.
way around some of the things that I need to know my way around. I've used an Apple computer most of the time here at work. Everything is Ubuntu. I don't want to say what kind of operating system we use here because I don't want anybody to start sending viruses in my direction. We use a special virus-proof software because nobody in the world is using Ubuntu except us. But what do you think, guys? In the Facebook Live, is it something? Would you trust electioneering software, election counting software, to something as unbelievably hackable as Windows software?
Bro, I don't even pay bills online.
You remember, I've told you this before about how freaked out I was when I went to, what are you looking at?
6.6, 161 kilometers east-northeast of Anatahan. That was our earthquake, 6.6.
No way.
Yeah, that's pretty good one.
Okay, wait. Let me put this down into Facebook. 6.6 and 192?
161 kilometers. That's going to be roughly 100 miles or so east-northeast of the island of Anatahan.
Anatahan.
Okay, that one.
That one. Okay. Gotcha. Wow, how about that? Is the results. I thought it was pretty strong, but it... I could feel it, but it's not like it made a whole lot of noise.
No, it didn't. And I mean, I think at that time I was kind of moving.
It was more like vertigo. I wasn't entirely sure that it was happening until I got a little bit more of a sense that, hey, I guess it is happening. Anyway, well, that's what it was, 6.6, and Lady D off by 1 point, maybe a little bit stronger up in Jigo, where Lady D is, because she's a little bit closer to Anatahan. So where was I? So we got, as I said, I'm okay if you've got issues with the election, I understand, because we had that thing down in Agate. Now we got this thing with the computer and the swap out on the computer. I thought that was interesting, and then there is the recount. Now, I'm not going to give Maria Pangolinan a hard time about this. She's a dear woman, and this is an election on Guam, and the numbers are close. The numbers are close. And you know what? To the degree that, look, dude, I'm just the director here, as it is. This is what I do, and we're going to leave this to the Guam Election Commission. I get it. But still in all, I think the Guam Election Commission is, you've got to maybe, I don't know, why are we waiting until Thursday at 5:30? Maybe come out a little bit earlier and just say, we're here in the conversation, and just to shut up the guy on the radio, we're going to go ahead and do the recount. We'll also shut up Kenley and Guerrero and Alicia and Frank at the same time. That's what I'm thinking. But if you want all three of those things together in your little conspiracy theory world, you might have something there. 888-8255. Earlier, I was telling you about some of the other stories that we're chasing around. And one of it, this is not something new. We were talking about this in the last couple of weeks. It didn't have a lot of time to finish the conversation. Simon Sanchez on the line about the plans for Guam Waterworks Authority. I think this is a big deal, and the Consolidated Commission on Utilities has now approved what the numbers that were coming out of GWA. So we're in the midpoint of the process now that will go ahead to the Public Utilities Commission. I just wanted to, on behalf of the ratepayers of the Guam Waterworks Authority side, just to find out a little bit more about what I'm going to be getting for $1.2 billion and about the $700 million that still need to get borrowed. How long is it going to take for us to pay all of that back, and what are the steps to do it?
Great, Ray. Thank you. And I bet that earthquake probably busted a few more of our 50-year-old water and sewer lines, and that's partially what we need to be reinvesting in to make sure that water gets to people in the right way, and Hanamtaki leaves people and businesses the right way and gets to the treatment plants before it gets to the ocean. But I think, as you alluded to earlier, infrastructure never stops. As long as humans keep making babies and having populations and we keep growing, tomorrow, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, people are going to want to make sure they have water and wastewater services. And the challenge is to keep investing in that in a way that keeps it as affordable as possible. Or if you stop investing, you kind of get what we ended up in the late 90s and early 2000 when we almost had the feds take over the whole system.
Well, you'll also recall, if you stop investing, it makes it more difficult for people to be able to develop. There was a time where there was a moratorium, if you'll recall.
Right, and that, like that old saying, if whatever, pay me now or pay me later. These projects, this should have started 30 years ago, but it didn't, right? And it started, basically 15 years ago when the CCU stepped in, and now we were citizen ratepayers running our own utilities, right? It wasn't run by senators and governors, and we realized we had to invest in the system. We've already invested some $300 million in projects. There's another $200 million in projects that we will now complete between 2018 and 2022, and then on top of that, we project. We did a master plan. Gee, what a concept! Let's do some planning, right? It's just like the Department of Education. You've seen their master plan for fixing all the schools over the next 30 years, haven't you?
Yeah.
Me neither. Me neither. Yeah, right. So, but like anything else, this is critical. And what we've realized is if you don't plan and you don't execute, you get Hanamtaki in the ocean, and you get horrible water quality, and that's not going to work. And so we are in the middle of, we did a master plan about 10 years ago, but we promised ourselves that, like all master plans, they don't sit on the shelf. You got to keep looking at them. So in the mid-term of our 20-year master plan, we've looked at it again. And what we see between now and 2037, another 20 years, is it's about $980 million of new projects. And, what's in them? Well, everyone says fix the water leaks. Well, almost $250 million of this $980 million is to replace 50-year-old water lines that are leaking and are costing us money unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And it's replacing storage tanks. The water comes up from the
it's just at Nissan looking at that Kicks that they've got there the other day and noticed there's no Nissan water tank back there anymore. It's just gone.
There's going to be a new one. Why? Because the new ones, that thing is very old. It was going to come down anyway. We need that tank to create pressure. Water tanks create the pressure that gets to your house, right? You bring it up from the wells, you bring it up from Ogum, and then you distribute them, but you need to fill tanks because you can't pump them fast enough to get to everybody's house, right?
Yeah.
So these storage tanks are critical to the system. We have 31 of them, and the court order made us fix every one of them. But there are some water tanks in the next 20 years that still have to be fixed or replaced, because some of the water tanks we're fixing now, we know we can get another 10 years out of them, right? So we maintain them for 10 years. But 10 years from now, they need to be replaced. And it's that kind of thinking that goes into, we've been working on this plan for a couple of years. We brought in outside fresh eyes and our own eyes, and we said, what's this island going to need? How many people do we have? Oh, we got a new marine base. How do we fix all these leaks that we have in the water and the wastewater system? In fact, most of the $980 million is going to go under the ground to fix the distribution systems of the water and the sewer lines, so that the wastewater doesn't get into the aquifer and gets to the treatment plant, and that the water that we're pumping out of the ground, we can start to pump up less as we fix these old water lines. And they're not going to fix themselves.
Yeah. Desai, you mentioned the military, and just Tialco on the Facebook mentioning DOD U.S. military letting us foot the whole bill? ? If so, that's some serious BS. So how much of this upgrade plan features the involvement in terms of U.S. dollars of the federal government?
So about 100. Okay, so first off, just to get the facts right, the Department of Defense has given GWA $170 million to rebuild the Northern Wastewater Treatment Plant and move it to secondary treatment. That was required by the court order in 2003, and had we not negotiated with the DOD, we would have had to come up with $170 million. But I sat down with General Bice. You remember him 10 years ago?
I do.
First military buildup guy. He said, look, there's a system development charge for you adding this Marine base. And we negotiated $170 million, and we decided the best, most effective, and win-win asset we could invest in was that Northern Wastewater Treatment Plant that handles over half the waste of Guam. And it had to go to secondary treatment. It's about $150 million. And then they're giving us another about 150, and another $20 million to fix the sewer line that goes from Anderson, the new Marine base, to that plant. But all the private citizens that will be developing in the future get to tie into that sewer line. So please don't think the DOD isn't paying anything. They're putting in $170 million of this $1.26 billion. And EPA is now giving us about $8 to $10 million a year. And so we project over the next 20 years, we're going to get about 120 million from U.S. EPA. We used to only get 100,000 a year, $1 million a year. Now we're getting $8 to $10 million a year. So we have approached the federal government, both DOD and U.S. EPA, and about a fourth of this new projects are going to be funded by federal funding. But the balance we have to fund in order to get these things fixed. And that's where the plans contemplates we would have to borrow another $700 million to supplement what we're getting from the feds and what we have from our internal cash flow. And that's the nature of the water business. It is capital intensive. Yes, we have 350 employees, but debt service makes up 30% of your bill right now. Labor is only like 12% of your bill. You need the debt to build these capital improvements. Great for construction economy. It's great for the private sector. This is new money coming in, but we ratepayers have to continue to invest in our system. I was just looking at there's projects in the south, there's projects in the central, there's projects in the north, there's water projects, there's wastewater projects, and most of this money is to replace and upgrade the way we distribute water and wastewater. The waters are.
You were talking about 30% of the revenues now are going to cover the debt service that already exists. So we've got another $700 million that's going to be added. Is that all coming at the same time, or is that going to go over the period of the next 15 years?
No, it's going to go over the next 20 years. And how do you eat an elephant? You eat it in pieces, right? One piece at a time. So if you recall, we developed the 5-year rate plan and the 5-year borrowing plan. And we like to keep it to 5 years because every 5 years we want to take a look at the plan again. Is it still relevant? Do we still need to do this? You never leave a plan on the shelf. Interesting concept, huh?
Yeah.
You're always looking at it. So the CIP plan is going to be supported by a funding plan, and it's going to require us to raise rates gradually over the next 20 years. Your water bill will go up just like it's gradually gone up over the last 15 years. The average citizen is paying about $65, $70 a month. And if you're not on the sewer line, you're only paying like $30 or $40 a month, and that's almost half our customers. So your bill's going to go. What's your water bill, Ray?
80
bucks, 60. Okay, so
I like long hot showers.
Okay, we love it.
And clean clothes.
We please use as much water as possible.
Yeah.
Your other ratepayers will appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but so your $80 bill would go up about $3 in October 2019 if it's approved, and it'll go up it'll be about $40 higher 20 years from now. So, that's not great, but, I'd love...
How does that change? Will the lifeline rates begin to be adjusted along with this?
Well, the good news is the lifeline rates could be adjusted, but that will help people of low income. It's not going to help people like you or me, but that wasn't, when you think about the lifeline rate, it wasn't designed to help everybody. It was really designed to help people with low income, but the lifeline rate now is a discount on the first 500 gallons that everybody uses, right?
Yeah.
And yet some people don't need a discount on the first 500 gallons. Some people really do. And in fact, but interestingly enough, more than about half our customers now use less water than what's on the lifeline rate. It's amazing. We have a lot of people that don't use a lot of water. So their bill is actually, their bills are going to go up even slower than those that use more water. But in the analysis, you'll see that the water bill over the next 20 years is probably going to go up at your home about $40, $50 max, right? And I wish, and we're going to do everything we can to get that number to be smaller. But to be able to say $40 higher 20 years from now, well, life doesn't get cheaper, unfortunately. And the alternative is what? If we don't do it, our children and grandchildren aren't going to have clean water. They're going to have to do exactly what we've had to do now. And the last thing we want to do is waste the money that we've invested already and that we're going to reinvest with the new projects. We don't want to have to repeat this movie again. And one of the things I've noticed is after this plan, rates should plateau. And the reason they'll plateau is you now have the ability to finance when you need is almost $1 billion worth of borrowing. We've already borrowed 300, so another 700. And when we get, when my grandkids are running the place, that water bill, we will have the ability to borrow whatever is needed to keep the system going past 2038. But we've had to earn that ability now by raising our rates. We've had to get the ability to borrow money to fix what should have been fixed 30 years ago. But once we get it up to that level, I think you're going to see rates stabilize, if not go down.
Right, because because of the easier access to capital. Unfortunately, I don't have time to get into too much of it. In fact, only a minute left in the broadcast. But I will note for our listeners that Simon Sanchez has contributed at least one editorial to the newspaper talking about financial flexibility in moving forward with the build, operate, transfer plan that we're talking about for the new power plant that's getting built up. I still haven't still fighting that battle with some of the other members of the Consolidated Commission on Utilities. I wish you good luck on that. Hey, I got to run. I'm going to prepare for aftershocks.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yep, as we get some time. Simon Sanchez from the CCU, as I said, $700 million worth of borrowing and a $1.2 billion upgrade plan, and that's a long way of telling you exactly what we are going to get out of it and what we look to be able to prevent in the future by having a water system that has been updated and maintained a whole lot better than it has over all of these years. The radio station is KUSG-FM. This is 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. 6.6 on the Richter scale. That's what the number is from the USGS. Hope you want some money, but they say watch out for the aftershocks. Be right back.
This is a Fox News alert. Some polls now closed this primary night. I'm Lisa Lacera. In Florida, there's a closely watched race for governor where Republican Rick Scott is term limited. Scott's running for a Senate seat. And there's also a closely watched race for Congress. Fox's Evan Brown has more live in Miami.
Lisa, both Republicans and Democrats will be picking a nominee to succeed Rick Scott as governor. On the GOP side, Adam Putnam, the state's long-serving agriculture commissioner, had been considered a shoo-in, but Congressman Ron DeSantis wrote an endorsement from President Trump to give Putnam a real fight. There are 5 Democrats considered to be in contention for their party's nomination. Outgoing Governor Rick Scott is expected to be nominated tonight by the GOP to challenge incumbent Democratic Senator Bill Nelson. Lisa.
Thanks, Evan. In Arizona, there's a Republican primary for the Senate seat now held by Jeff Flake, the frontrunner Martha McSally, who now serves in the House.
Joining McSally on the ballot are Dr. Kelly Ward and Sheriff Joe Arpaio. The winner is likely to face Democratic Congresswoman Kirsten Sinema in November. Remember, this is the contest that made Jeff Flake want to call it a career. He said last August, the path I would have to travel to get the Republican nomination is a path I'm not willing to take. It would require me to believe in positions I don't hold on such issues as trade and immigration, and it would require me to condone behavior that I cannot condone. But even though the frontrunner to replace him is the most moderate person on the ballot, Flake says he has no regrets about not seeking re-election.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Tempe. Elections officials say 62 polling stations in the Phoenix area weren't working when voting began this morning. A contractor hired to set up voting machines didn't send enough technicians. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey has said he will name a replacement for the late Senator John McCain's Senate seat after Senator McCain's burial. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
President Trump doubles down on his criticism of Google.
The president keeping up his criticism of Google.
So I think that Google and Twitter and Facebook, they're really treading on very, very troubled territory, and they have to be careful. It's not fair to large portions of the population.
Earlier, the president writing on Twitter, Google and others are suppressing voices of conservatives and hiding information and news that is good. Google pushed back in a statement writing, "Search is not used to set a political agenda, and we don't bias our results toward any political ideology." At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
Mixed reaction from lawmakers to President Trump's tentative trade deal with Mexico.
The news the Trump administration has reached an agreement with Mexico on a new trade deal has many lawmakers trying to figure out how this might benefit their particular home states. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky says Republicans are happy to hear there's a deal.
I think there was a sort of palpable sense of relief among most of the members in my conference.
Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer of New York and his fellow Democrats sound skeptical, saying they want to read the fine print.
I'm a little worried this one's like North Korea. You know, they have a nice announcement, but then we don't see the details, and who knows what we'll see afterwards.
On Capitol Hill, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Bill Gates now taking a more targeted approach to help schools in the U.S. that are struggling. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has started funding groups working directly with clusters of public schools, some of the poorest areas of the country. The foundation announcing the first round of nearly $100 million for 19 program initiatives for middle and high schools across 13 states. Gates pledged $460 million over the next 5 years to fund networks of school programs that help low-income students go to college. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card, and upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
5 after 9, the Ray Gibson Show on the program, and a reminder that there is going to be lunch waiting for you at King's because they're open at lunchtime and they want you to go and enjoy. Today it is pork sinigang that you are going to have. Tomorrow, meatloaf, which everybody loves universally, and then the day after that, what did I say? No, it's not beefsteak tomorrow. It's Wednesday.
Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah, I lost
Middle
a
of
day
the week.
somewhere.
It's the
Carry
earthquake. The Russians. It's the Russians did it. They're meddling with our election and removing a work day for you.
Yeah, it was the earthquakes. Got me all messed up. Got me all shook up.
Does that mean I don't have to pay for today?
Sure, I don't care. I don't do it for money. I do it for fun.
Amen. So anyway, it's pork sinigang. Tomorrow is meatloaf, and the day after that is going to be beef tinak-tak. That's what we're having for lunch at King's.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Portions of the program brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy, Guam Regional Medical City for all of your open heart surgery needs, and American Water Tech. Smarter Water, Better Water, and American President lines. They are shipping the future, and we're going to spend a few minutes with folks from the American President lines. The actual words president next to their names. I've got some real shipping royalty in the studio here, don't I, Charlie? And we'll talk with Edward and Eric in just a few moments.
If you can dream uncommon design and unprecedented engineering, you define the 2018 Lexus. The boldly designed IS Sports Sedan's aggressive design stimulates the senses.
Advanced paddle shifting puts the exhilarating performance of the IS Sports Sedan at your fingertips. With deep, luxurious seating, the ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive.
Put yourself in a 2018 Lexus.
Now with special incentives.
At Atkins Kroll.
Now, time for a Wendy's break. Wendy's 4 for $4. Are you cheapskate like me? You know, I'm only cheap when it comes to buying food for other people. I notice when it's me, I spend up. But anyway, giving customers a great value every day for just $4, you now have 8 options to choose from. All-time favorites like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, which has bacon in it, and the Crispy Chicken BLT, which also has bacon, which is meat candy, if you will. The Double Stack Sandwich, all come complete with nuggets and fries and a drink. Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out.
I'm trying to sort something out, Charlie. You're going to have to help me with this. Go ahead and on all of the microphones in the studio so I can talk to everybody simultaneously. My name is Ray, and my very close friend and personal friend, Charlie from American President Line's in the studio. How you doing?
Good, Ray.
And I haven't seen you since Sunday, dude.
I know, right? So much time.
It's amazing how tan you get at night. Can I just say, it's just every once in a while we get together and get as crazy as we possibly can. So we did that on Sunday night. And goofing off at a spot down in Tumon that will never ever be the same.
Never.
Exactly. But anyway, so you brought royalty from in the shipping industry here.
I needed to.
Yeah.
I wanted to present Ed and Eric. I think it was a great opportunity for them to spend some time with you. I think we actually spent some time last night talking about the politics. So very, very interesting on what's going on.
So you guys been to Florida?
We have. You got a hanging chad?
Yeah. So it's one of those things. Well, I can't believe how messed up things are in Florida. Here comes Guam saying, "Hold my drink." Hold my beer, because I think we might be able to do better than that. Yeah, some interesting politics that are floating around these days, and I'm using the word floating around because I got shipping people in the studio, and so let me ask. Wait a second. First of all, I had the cards in order, but I don't anymore. You're Eric.
Yes.
Okay, and that's Edward. Edward is the president of APL North America.
Correct.
Okay, that's a big territory you got there.
Big territory.
How many presidents are there in the American President's Line? See, I thought it was named after like actual presidents of the United States of America. We have a president ship for every president in the company. Is that right?
No, not really.
No.
No.
Oh, okay, just checking. So a big territory in the APL for North America.
Includes Canada and all of the U.S.
Okay.
Excluding Mexico and South America.
Do we go up to on the Alaskan side?
And we cover Alaska as well. Alaska's a very, very big operation for us.
Oh, I imagine. There's a ton of stuff that's got to go in there and a ton of stuff that goes out. And then you got places like Juneau, and there's only 2 ways into Juneau, is shipping an airplane.
Yeah,
you can't drive to Juneau.
That's right. We really are the flagship operation in Alaska.
Oh, nice to hear that. Okay, and then Eric, who is the Senior Vice President, Government and Guam Trade, and the President and CEO of APL Maritime Limited. Okay, are any one of you at the top of the wire diagram of American President Lines?
Well, we've got a boss, so Ed.
Okay, so no.
Yeah.
So if you guys are presidents, what do you call him?
CEO.
He's the CEO.
Okay, all right, CEO.
Yeah. He's the CEO. He's based in Singapore.
Just wanted to know where we. Oh, in Singapore. It's got good digs.
We like to think we don't hand out the titles lightly, but there's a couple of us floating around.
So what is it that brings you guys to Guam? Is Charlie not doing a good job?
Charlie's doing a fantastic job.
I wanted to hear it from the man.
We come out 4 to 5 times a year. Mm-hmm. Okay, we've got big plans for Guam. We've got
understanding that the people from Matson are listening. But so what can you tell me about the big plans you got for Guam?
Well, I can tell you one thing: we're not going away. I can tell you we're here to grow.
I heard.
In many ways, we're looking at new services. We're looking at establishing a brand new office here in Guam. We're continuing to improve our services from the U.S. and from Asia, and right now things are on track and we're progressing along very, very well.
I'm curious. The shipping business can from time to time be influenced by other events in the world. We've got Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and he's been pretty aggressive dealing with some of our trade partners, and that's trade partners that American President Line ships will call on from time to time. You guys got some business out in China, and you've got port of calls out there on the eastern coast of the Chinese mainland. How is that affecting your business there?
Well, we're bringing in right now into the United States from Asia roughly 30,000 TEUs per week. We're a very large player in this marketplace.
TEU for the uninitiated?
20-foot equivalent units.
Okay.
And basically, what we've seen so far this year is not a lot of our customers changing their supply chains, okay, where, moving cargo they used to source in China, now sourcing somewhere else. We haven't seen a lot of that happening. They're concerned, and I think they're looking at doing that for the next season. But what we are seeing happen is people are accelerating their purchases. They're bringing in cargo into the United States earlier than they would have in anticipation of the increased tariffs.
Yeah.
So our ships are very, very full right now, demanding premiums in most of our services. We're looking at extra loaders. We just agreed to put a major extra loader ship in early September, followed by most likely a second one in mid-September.
Okay, still don't know what that is. Extra loader.
Extra loader means usually we have weekly vessels. This would be some ships that were not normally planned, just to take care of the excess demand.
Interesting. All right, and I'm glad to hear that you guys are as busy as you have. As you know, the reason why there's a lot of people that were excited about APL coming into the market was because we used to be a two shipping business town.
Used to be,
and then one of them went away primarily because there were issues coming out of China and changes in the cost of doing business there that did not meet the model that they originally thought they were going to get.
Correct.
Okay. Now there's another avenue to all of this. You think about everything that comes out of China, and anymore, I think there's a little bit of a change in that there are more places that are involved in assembly. So you've got some raw materials that might come out of China that then would get shipped to Vietnam and to Thailand and into Singapore if they're doing any assembly down there, and then put together and then shipped out to other places. Are you developing little spokes for those network hubs?
We have spokes. Our big spoke is already is Singapore #1, Hong Kong, South China #2, and then Central or North China. We're covering all key areas very, very well. We're into that marketplace.
Yeah, you talk about the shipyard in Hong Kong. I was just recently there in May, and it's just dizzying how large the thing is. You got to remember, I'm a kid. I'm born and raised on Guam, so you take me down to the port, and I'm going, wow, look at that, it's so big, and then it seems to go forever. And then you're driving from the airport into town in Hong Kong, and you pass by the port out there, and it feels like it's as big as Guam, the entire island.
Yeah, the future. Our slogan in our company now is shipping the future, and we are building really the ships of the future. We're building 24,000 TEU vessels right now, which means 24 containers long, 24 containers wide, 24 containers deep. These ships are monstrous.
I was going to say, I'm having a hard time imagining it in my head. Do we have any of those that call into Guam every once in a while?
No. I don't think they'd ever fit.
We can't get them into Apple Harbor.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Have to pull them up to Tumon and crane the things out. That's a whole lot of units that we're building.
That's right. They're also LNG. Okay, so we're trying to be as cost efficient and as environmentally friendly as we can.
You mean the ships are running on liquefied natural gas? Okay, so we're not using diesel anymore, and certainly aren't going to be using like gasoline. What's wrong with sails? You put up a sail every. There's no masts on those ships that you've got.
No masts.
No masts. What's your background in the shipping industry? How'd you get into it?
I got into it because my father was in the industry for many years. He was an executive in a company called U.S. Lines in the past. I got out of college, and he said there was a company called Sealand.
Wow.
Well, Sealand, everybody remember Sealand?
Yeah.
Sealand had a training program at that time. I got into the training program with Sealand and worked my way up. I had the opportunity.
So you've been in it now 5-10 years, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And, it was great because it gave me the opportunity in 1988 to move overseas to Puerto Rico, came back, and then 91 moved to Asia for 8 years. Came back to the U.S. In a significant role, then moved to Europe and ran Europe for Sealand for a year or so. And then ultimately found my way to APL.
What do you think of the Jones Act? We always get into conversations with shipping guys. The Jones Act's got to come up. You said you used to muscle around in the Puerto Rico area.
I did.
We do business with up and around Hawaii and Alaska.
I did, and I do.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pass that one off to my friend Eric.
Let's see what Eric says about it. The Jones Act.
Well, specific, the Jones Act is an acknowledgement that cargo movement between a couple of U.S. Areas should be on U.S. flagships crewed by Americans, and In the case of true Jones Act, which would be Puerto Rico, Alaska, and Hawaii, has to be built in the United States.
Right.
Here in Guam, there's a lot of discussion about the Jones Act, and I think, frankly, a lot of confusion. The ships that call into Guam have a special Jones Act set aside for Guam, done by Senator Inouye, in fact, specifically said, I want to make sure that our island of Guam is taken care of, and that we've got international carriers that call on Guam. So APL, as a U.S. flag operator, has been in Guam for a long time. Then we sold the service, actually, to Matson.
Yeah.
In 1997, we sold the ships, the service. We continued to operate the ships as APL as part of our 10-year deal. And in the meantime, Horizon Lines came in, as everybody here on the island knows, who eventually went defunct, unfortunately, for them. So we've been kind of watching this market, and we saw an opportunity. We came in here now. It's been over 2.5 years ago, and we're making great progress. I think we're part of the island now. We feel that. It's a great coming home for us.
Well, you guys sponsored the Smoking Wheels, for heaven's sakes.
That's one of ours.
Yeah.
That's one of our big ones.
You got a big softball tournament that you guys just got finished with. Hit Radio 100 did the Kids Care deal, and I saw the logo on the bottom of that. So definitely reaching out and returning to a position in the community that is hard to hold on to. Frankly, there's a lot of competition because everybody wants to be kind of pillars in the community. So I'm glad to hear all of that, and I'm glad to hear that there is this carve out and this set aside now that will allow some degree of competition. Not that there is necessarily a requirement for competition, but we'd all like to see, frankly, some of the costs of goods that arrive into Guam coming down. And a lot of times that's blamed on the Jones Act. But there are other factors that contribute to the cost of goods. As we like to say, a case of Budweiser and a can of Spam. And what, outside of any Jones Act considerations, what are some of the other items that will impact the cost of goods as they arrive?
Well, we watch this very closely. The rates have come down significantly since we entered the market. It's amazing what a little competition will do from the states. It's quite interesting. We've been fighting hard for the market share we have, and it comes down to service, it comes down to rates. But beyond what happens from the states, because that gets all the focus, APL, as part of the third largest carrier in the world, has brought a worldwide scope of service that wasn't quite as available here into Guam. So we are now carrying cargo from Europe, from Asia, from Australia, New Zealand, and I think we've really built a nice niche here. Part of it, of course, is the states. That's kind of what it's built on.
Who was I talking to that has all this plumbing gear that they're selling for the military buildup that comes out of Japan? They ship it through you guys. Do you remember what was it? Just a couple of weeks? Somebody as I was saying, so there's this international ring that you can be a part of, and sometimes there might be people that think if I wanted to get something out of China, I've got to go. It's got to go from China to Long Beach and pick it up from there. No, you can bring stuff in from the Chinese shores into Guam.
Yeah, actually, we've developed a really nice market share. We've got our ships calling Korea and then Japan, and then they shoot straight down to Guam on a weekly service, 2 ships in rotation. So we connect the U.S. cargo in Japan, and then we come dead south. So we hit both Guam and Saipan.
Right, and I think that's one of the uniqueness because some of the requirements for the military buildup, right, has to be sourced. So either at a Korea, Japan, and it has to be brought on a U.S. flag ship, which is what we provide out of Korea and Japan. So now there's that network. And I think that's one of the callers that came in and I was talking about bringing in the pipes out of Japan.
Yes, and so that's why it's stuck in my head. And in fact, I remember he said that he uses you guys exclusively at American President Lines simply because you've got that relationship. You've got someplace your boat parks in Tokyo, and he's able to load his stuff up here. And a few days later, what's the sailing time between here and there?
About 4 days.
About 4 days. You've got an opportunity to get the things here. Plus, what works here will also work in Saipan and the CNMI. This is another conversation that we need to have here, is that there are a number of goods that will find their way to Guam that still need to get forwarded up to Saipan. And you guys get to Sugar Dock every day, right?
That's correct.
Every day and back. So always interesting conversations about this. I was talking about some of the other force field impacts on the cost of goods here. And, I'm glad that you guys are talking about going LNG because every once once in a while we get this note from somebody that says, well, based on the cost of of West Texas crude, we have to instigate new fuel surcharges. And every time I look at that, in my head, a little cash register is ringing, and it's not mine, unfortunately. But that's still an impact in the shipping business.
Absolutely. Especially this year, we've seen dramatic increases in fuel, and it does impact us. But it goes both ways. When the prices go up, we charge a little more. When they go down, we give a credit. It's all by mathematic formula. It's straight up. It's in our tariff, and we understand. One advantage that we do have coming to Guam is that we do operate smaller ships. So they're still plenty large, good size, but they have some unique capabilities that we should mention, and that is that they're self-sustaining. And on an island nation, the ability for us, in the event something happened here, we can load and unload ourselves at the dock. So if there was a power plant outage, something happened, natural disaster.
Oh, so you don't need one of those big New Orleans, I was going to call it New Orleans POLA, the Port of Los Angeles cranes to be able to offload?
We can do it ourselves.
You get the thing on board.
Yeah, we've got it on board. We've got a couple cranes, and it has military utility too. If the military's got some big moves that they want to come on that we have to be able to lift on and off, or should something happen here in whatever fashion, we have that capability.
What about the costs of doing business with the Port of Guam? There's any number of reasons why we might see some tariffs going up. I think they just hit us with a tariff increase. And what's going to happen? They've got to pay off this huge loan that they're going to get. And it's also possible that they're going to have to pay off the plaintiffs in the YTK case to the tune of $14 million and other legal fees. And I'm wondering how that's going to impact you guys. You guys are users of the port just like the trucking guys are. So what's the impact going to be for APL, and how do we mitigate that impact on the people that use your services?
Well, I think the good news is that the rates have come down. So if the port elects to raise their rates, and that impact
that's on them. Not
will
you.
Still be good. But let's face it, it's run by the government. There's no choice on where to go. We come here, frankly, we get great service. The management there is quite good, but it is an expensive port. There's no doubt, and I think that is accounted for by the fact that it doesn't get the throughput that other ports do, and they've got to charge a little bit more. But we get great service, and we have a good teamwork.
But from an expert perspective, could we? I mean, we were talking years ago when they first started having the conversation about the military buildup, about the throughput, because we were talking about being able to take what it's now going to feel like 20 years worth of military buildup and do it in about 25, 26 months. And we thought, the ports, there's no way the port's going to be ready for that. We don't have the berths for the ships. We don't have the number of chassis for the TEUs that need to be going out. Never going to work. We managed to find some Tiger Grant money that we threw at the port. But is there more that they can be doing over at the port to accommodate additional throughput if all of a sudden there was a surge in shipment through Guam?
You know what? I think, Ray, and that's one of the things that we're going to do. We're going to do a quick run through the port as well. But I think the port is working, and it's the land usage, right? There is a couple of pieces of equipment there that have been, from what I understand, been sitting there for a while that could potentially represent additional lands for us to be able to utilize as far as containers, getting rid of some of the old cranes. So I think
they're all old cranes, aren't they? They're the ones that we got from Los Angeles.
Right. So, and I think that's some of that money is going to go towards upgrading the cranes, getting possibly new cranes. But definitely developing the land is going to be a key to the success of the port.
No, we're talking about land. I forget what it's alphabetical, but whatever it is through Hotel Wharf.
Correct.
Are there still slots there that need to be improved so that you could tie up onto them and then offload?
Yes. There's definitely on the back end of the wharf, there's an area, I believe there's still a sunken barge that could potentially be cleaned up and provide additional dockage.
So can you guys do that? Can APL do it, and then we'll just turn that into APL spot?
Oh, that would be.
Well, I think that what we would like to see, first of all, what happens at the port happens to Matson and ourselves and to all carriers. We're all treated equally.
Okay.
When it comes to that. I think if we had a long-range vision, would love to see.
But wait, no. I don't know that it always works like that, because I think there were arrangements specifically on the port cranes that were made so that it's like, okay, we brought these in.
There was some of that.
And then there were different costs to the different users of it.
Yeah, we know a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you guys were to refurbish a part of the port and say, okay, when we're not using it, you can use it, would you be entitled to do the same thing? So if somebody else were to pull up, you could give them, the APL surcharge.
Well, that doesn't happen in too many ports around the world. This is kind of a situation. I think what we would like to see is...
Well, this is a lot of situations.
Yeah, it's a lot of situations
going on. I'm just trying to open up
there.
some possibilities for the conversation.
Well, I think we'd like to see a little bit of privatization of the port, if possible. If APL could come in and develop part of the port of Guam, put our own cranes in and run our own part of the terminal, that's what we'd like to see.
Listen, when you start talking about privatization, I'm your guy. I'm your
The key also
huckleberry.
is making sure that the terminal treats all of their users the same way. That's a critical issue. And so far we see that.
We've seen it.
But that's always important to us, is everybody's got a ship that only makes money when it's moving. So we got to get in, we got to get the gangs, we've got to get the people, and we've got to get out. But so far we have, as I say, we have a great relationship with the port. And we look forward to continuing to work with them.
It's interesting to talk about that. Make money while the ship is moving, but it makes money most when it's moving things in both directions. So we go this way, and we've got cargo, and we drop it off, and then we replace that cargo with other cargo. Is it still equitable in as many different directions as you go around the Pacific, or is that part of the challenge of
part
working?
of the chess match. Yeah, there's still the head haul and the back haul.
Yeah.
Okay, we make more money on the head haul, and we're just moving cargoes back at less than premium rates to get the equipment back.
So Guam's a lot like the mainland. They buy a lot more than they export back. Right. So Guam is actually even worse. We've got a lot of cargo coming in and very little going out, as you would expect. Household goods, privately owned vehicles, things like that, but not that significant. So we really have to make sure that we size the fleet on what's coming in and that we cover the costs on that, because getting stuff back out is really just balancing equipment. Whatever we bring in, we've got to ship back out, or we start to build piles here of equipment, which we can't have.
No, because that doesn't make you any money.
No.
Inventory sitting is certainly not going to make you any money. But, I just think every time I have a conversation, every time Charlie brings somebody in, I learn a little bit more about your business, and it is amazing to me, and maybe for somebody that's been in the game a little bit, for me, because I'm new, it's all very new information for me, but you're talking about an industry, the shipping industry, that goes back 2,000 years, literally.
APL's been in business 170 years.
Yeah, so how much does it, outside of the technology, I mean, the basics of it, how much does that change over the course of somebody's lifetime?
Oh, it's changed a lot.
Has it?
Oh, it's changed a lot. I mean, the old days used to be break bulk, remember? The old days of lifting cargo on and off ships with cranes, okay, and not in containers. Then it moves into the container size have changed. We've gone from 20s and 40s to 45s and 53s. All right, the technology of how fast we can get cargo on and off ships, how fast ships go.
Well,
okay?
and that changes at the wholesale end of it, because there used to be more warehouses on Guam, but somebody figured out a bunch of years ago that I don't need a warehouse. I just need to manage just-in-time shipping. Yeah,
that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. And that's fascinating to me. What's the biggest misconception then about the shipping business?
So we're all making a bunch of money. I don't know.
It's rolling.
There's very few tycoons.
If you think about it, it's incredible how efficient we are as an industry. I've been doing this a while, like Ed has, and the freight rates are not significantly different today than they were 30 years ago.
Adjusted for inflation.
It's just amazing, but we just have gotten better, more efficient, bigger ships. Better capability inland where we do it.
Because
it's
I
a
always
very
imagine
efficient industry.
I imagine the guys in the shipping game, which is Donald Duck's rich uncle? And he's got a swimming pool with coins. That's what I imagine. All you guys are just, when we're not at the shipping place, just, swimming in actual money. No, huh?
Not the case.
Well, if you consider the heavy capital costs involved in shipping, no one would ever knowingly put their money in it, I think.
Well, you guys are talking about, but you're talking about building new ships.
Oh, well, we're always building new ships, yeah.
All right, and now there's a term, it's Jones Act ship, Jones Act capable ships or something like that. Are the ones that you building have all of those Jones Acty things in there?
We're not in the Jones Act trade.
Oh.
So our ships, we are, again, we're a set aside for Guam. Our ships are built foreign,
Okay.
and then they're in the U.S. flag. So they're registered in the United States with American citizens, but we don't have to build them in the U.S. And it's interesting that industry is struggling. We talk about the U.S. and all the things we want to try to do to take our nation to the next level. Would you believe that there's only 81 ships that remain in the U.S. international fleet? We operate 9 of them, and they all service Guam in some way, shape, or fashion. So the Jones Act, of course, is the U.S. domestic trade, and then also covering Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And they have significantly more ships.
Yeah, and the rules then will apply more to them because that was
They have to build in the U.S. That's a big difference.
I'd heard that was going to eventually be a problem for Puerto Rico, and maybe one of you guys can explain to me what the issues were in Puerto Rico that were affecting or may still be affecting their recovery. Did they not lift some of the Jones Act restrictions on Puerto Rico, at least in the initial couple of months after Maria?
For a very short period of time. I view it as a mistake. I think they did it based on the idea that they weren't getting served. And frankly, those carriers that served Puerto Rico did a fantastic job.
Did a great job during that problem.
Stepped up, reallocated ships, and I don't think it had any impact in the rebuild. In fact, I think they went completely overboard to make sure that they were seen as being supportive of the community and the island.
Yeah, didn't they have
did a great
mayor
job.
standing in a full warehouse filled with water and medical supplies saying, there's no water or medical supplies coming in. I don't understand what's going on. Well, lady, look behind you. There's
It's all on
a
the dock.
ton of them.
It's all on the dock.
In the spot. Because there was talk in the last few days, we had that Hurricane Lane in Hawaii, and there was some talk about the government of Hawaii going back or attempting to go back to Washington, D.C. to see if they could lift the Jones Act restrictions in Hawaii.
It never got anywhere. In fact, we got contacted by FEMA because we have a contract with them, and the best I could do was move goods from Asia in, but those who cover Hawaii had it well covered. And as we all know, it turned out to be mostly a non-event.
Yeah, nothing burger.
I think the carriers that go there had it covered. Yeah, they
Gotcha.
did.
How much longer are you to be on Guam?
Through the week, yeah.
We're leaving on Saturday.
All right.
As Ed said, we come here a lot, 4 or 5 times a year. I think this is my 12th trip, 15th trip.
Come on back in. Bring these guys back into the studio. I love the conversation. And we'll find a bunch of different avenues for because it's not all the time I get to talk to actual presidents from actual American presidents.
I'm amazed how much you know. I'm pretty impressed.
Charlie's, we sit down together at breakfast once every couple of weeks, and he gives me a good education, a good dose, and we also explore some interesting what-if questions about, what may or may not happen, because there's a lot of changes that are taking place. I mean, the shipping business is, as we look at transportation overall, you think about the shipping business, and you guys deal with TEUs. I also spend a lot of time with people in the airline business, and there's a lot of similarities between what happens there. When the ship leaves and you've still got room for cargo, and you haven't filled it, that's bad. We've lost money on that. We lost the potential revenue.
Lost the space forever.
Same thing with an airplane when it takes off. If you've got open seats, then somewhere along the way we've missed an opportunity to capitalize on those. So you've got similar problems, but then the technology of air travel is changing significantly as well. There have been some changes in the technology that they use to build airplanes and the electronics and different things that they're doing with navigation airplanes that have changed the way that you can do that configuration of airplanes as well. So the same way that you were talking about 24 wide, 24 deep, 24 long, they can do the same things, reconfigure airplanes for different kinds of demands, different kinds of loads.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all kind of fun when you stop and think about it. And when you're out here in the fringes of show business, and at the end usually of a supply chain, you get really, really good at understanding. What's the best method to get something out here. And in my case, a couple of years ago, and just as an aside, I bought a transmitter from a company out in Nova Scotia, and they had packed it so that it would fit on an airplane. And they said, how do you want it shipped? And I said, pretty quick. And they said, okay, we'll stick it on an airplane. And they've since changed the way they pack transmitters. And I just recently bought another one from them, and they said, oh, yeah, it's longer by 3 inches, and it won't fit on the airplane anymore. And I said, well, I guess we're putting it on a ship to get to Guam. So, I mean, there's always some factor that's going to determine whether you're doing air shipments and air freight or whether you're doing ocean freight. And I'm glad to hear that there's still a lot of strength in the ocean freight business.
There really is.
It's what we've been built on around here. 9:37, and I got to take a break here. I'm going to let you guys run. That's iConnect time. They are the practical choice. You're going to love dealing with them. Push-to-talk and mobile and internet plans that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. That's why iConnect is the practical choice.
Hi, this is Kathy Sorensen. Some of you may remember me as the lady who bought too much furniture and passed on the savings to you. I'm back with Furniture Kathy style, and prices are rolled back 10 years. That's 2018 style with 2008 prices. Come check us out and have a chance to win your dream home makeover. Everything is on sale up to 25% during this grand opening event. Visit us at Furniture Kathy style in Agana, Instagram, and Facebook.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details. Tell you what, I'll ask Charlie about that a little bit later on. Does APL, Lady D asking, does APL have a route from Osaka to Guam? And Debbie chiming in, if there's daily APL container ships coming to Saipan, there's no excuse for shortages in local businesses of food items or household products or construction material. Well, if it's coming in from here and I got no cement, and if I don't have any 2x4s on Guam, then it's probably going to cause some kind of delay getting them to your place. And I will, I'll admit, if there's a problem with you getting your hands on a Sai Super Dry or Heineken Light up in the CNMites, because I'm drinking it all here before it gets a chance to get to where you are. There are a few other drinks that I drink.
I ain't high, I'll tell you that, man. I don't feel nothing, man.
Yeah, there might be a couple of other things that I drink that aren't getting up to where you are either. 20 away from the top of the hour, and a note from my buddy on Facebook. Dennis says, Tatlu, how about a shout-out for GCC President Mary Okada and Associate Dean Pilar Williams for successfully organizing and completing 2 construction trades boot camps cohorts with 33 finishers. Local companies desiring to compete for large-scale DoD contracts need to work closely with GCC and hire these finishers so they can secure the big projects as opposed to waiting on H-2B visa waivers to be approved for outside the base construction projects. Give Dr. Mary Okada and her team kudos and for their efforts to help backfill the major shortage of construction trade workers on Guam by launching their boot camp initiative. Dennis? I'm happy to do it just because you asked, but you're late by about a week. When did we talk with Jane Flores about that? We gave Jane plenty of time on the radio just a few days ago to crow about the graduation, the commencement, if you will, of these trade boot camp guys, and also find out a question of when is the next one? Because wouldn't it be a gas? Here we are, Dennis, at our young age, to be able to explore the possibility of learning a few things. I'm doing a little bit of construction work around the Casa these days myself, and I can do 90% of the work that I need to do.
Right.
Painting, I hate painting. Can I just say?
That's the most boring thing on earth.
I hate painting.
And it's messy, too.
I've got two coats of primer on the wall right now, because there's this god-awful butt-ugly color.
So the problem with painting is you have to prep like twice as much as just to paint it on the wall.
Yeah. Because then it looks like people that know what they were doing did it, as opposed to just somebody with a brush and a roller. So painting I can do. And I'm getting the look from friends going, what about this wall switches and the wall plates are busted and they all look like they need to. So I can change all of those things.
Yeah, that's easy.
The electrical switches and outlets, I can do those all day long. I'm comfortable around 110 volts, but that's all. Everything else, but when it gets down to some even light woodworking.
Yeah, right. Well, that's craftsman stuff there, man.
Right?
That's on a whole other level.
Yeah, and
cabinet making.
Ooh. It's just cabinet repair.
I'm just putting 4 pieces of wood together.
I can't do it.
I can
They
build
have
a
to be straight?
sawhorse. I can build a sawhorse. I can build something that lets the cabinet maker work and make
Work
a
something
cabinet.
else, right? So, and tile work. There's a couple of places where it's desperate for tile work, and I don't want to do it. Because if I do it, it will look like it already does now. I need to bring in somebody that knows what they're doing. So yeah, I'm with you. I totally love the idea of finding guys that know what they're doing, and even better when they've gone through a program like that, because I might not always have work for them. Once the tile work is done, once some of the woodworking is done, I hope you've got someplace else to go to ply your trade, because I'm finished with you. We've got this buildup that's going to be happening here, and it might not all be craftsman work that we're asking you to do, but just some of the basics that we see in some places.
Yeah.
God, I can't tell you. I was struggling with this, just changing closet doors.
Oh, the sliders?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you got to adjust it, all this.
Yeah. So there's a part of me I couldn't make it not get stuck on the floor.
But I thought it was magic.
Yeah, I followed the instructions and I still can't do it. What's the line? No matter how many times I cut it, it still won't be long enough. Measure twice, cut once, right? But while I'm in the topic of educators, I did get a note on. I was looking at something on Facebook, and a buddy of mine was talking about how this is not going to be a good day for educators. And I said, "What are you talking about, Alfredo?" And Alfredo then sent me a couple of PDFs. I've given these to Kevin Kerrigan and even Sanjay Sharma from the Guam Federation of Teachers. You'll recall last week GFT came out and as loudly as they can with their newsletter asked the governor to veto the budget legislation. And as we know, the governor did not veto that budget legislation. He complained all day long like a stuck pig about it. Gotcha. Complained all day long like a stuck pig about the budget.
I gotta find my pig.
You almost never.
I found him.
I gotta find my pig. Those are words you almost never hear in full-grown talk radio land. I've got to find my pig. And so that's what happened. The GFT very unhappy about it. And so the law of the land now is the budget. The governor let it lapse into law, which means, according to John Fernandez, sent out a memo to all GDOE employees. Here's how it's going to impact us. Hiring prohibited. There is a prohibition on hiring taking effect September the 1st and shall remain in effect through December 31st. It does not apply to federally funded positions or teaching positions, including substitutes. Everything else, though, all of the other support stuff that you guys need. Who's doing the maintenance on the air conditioning these days? Who do you call when the commode's backed up? Salary increments freeze. And I think this is the part that's got everybody all squealing like pigs at GDOE. Yeah. There shall be a freeze on all salary increments, promotions, reclassifications, merit bonuses, and any other upward pay adjustments. The freeze in effect from 10/1/2018 through September 30th, 2019, the entire budget year. Upon the lifting of the freeze, the payment of increments or merit bonuses will not be retroactively applied, but prospectively paid. This freeze is applicable to all increments, regardless of funding source, all promotions, regardless of funding source, all reclassifications, regardless of funding sources. I'm not done. All merit bonuses, regardless of funding sources, and all pay adjustments, regardless of funding sources. They were already at GDOE in a state of hissy over the reclassifications that were supposed to be taking place because it was all going to be based on the availability of funds. Right. And everybody kind of holding out hope that there was going to be an availability of funds. And then there was a little bit of unclarity, at least from my perspective, on when those funds would be given. So if you got a great stinking review in February, and there were no funds, but when they became available, would they be retroactive to February? That, in my mind, was still a question mark. And now the answer is just flat no.
Yeah.
If you go to see the man today on the 28-9 of August, and he gives you a spectacular, the best teacher ever. All of your kids love you. All of the other teachers love you, and parents love you, and you're just the best ever. And you're going to get a promotion. I say, when? Later. When do I get when do I get my bonus? When do I get my raise? Later. Will it be retroactive to today? No.
That all sounds like a really big bunch of maybes.
You know what it all sounds
later,
like.
Later always turns into a maybe.
Yeah. So here's what what do we have here to incentivize teaching? We're already short all the time. This is a disincentive to the teachers.
True.
Yeah. And what did they do about the nose pickers in the budget? Didn't they make it so that they didn't have to get canned on the 1st? All of these unclassified employees?
I think so. What I understand is they're supposed to, go through the list and, shuck out the ones that they don't really need or something like that.
Daryl Taggarty, we were talking about got to find my pig, and he says, you don't hear those words, especially on Woman Crush Day. It's Woman Crush Wednesday, and the day that, if you like, there's almost no time left to do it, but the idea behind Woman Crush Wednesday is if you're on Facebook Live and hanging out, and there's somebody that you see here regularly in the Facebook Live, and you're like, I've seen that profile picture, she's cute. I like her in the face. You got a pretty mouth. I like it when words come out your mouth. I want to do bad things to you. Today's the day to reach out and identify yourself as having a crush on that particular woman. It's all right. And if for no other reason, make her feel better. Right? It's all right. Woman Crush Wednesday. We might want to do this about once a month, I think. Just for grins, just for giggles.
We should do it every week.
If you remind me,
we can make bumper stickers.
I don't know. Woman, but there's also Chicken Wing Wednesdays. There's also Buffalo Wing Wednesdays.
Oh yeah, everything happens on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, because I did. I don't know.
To be original.
When was payday for us? We got one coming up, right?
Coming up, yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
because I'm trying to think if tonight's the night to go to the chicken wing place.
Might want to mention about Monday, too.
I'm not coming to work Monday.
Yeah, I won't be here either.
No, I'm going to be taking full advantage of the 3-day weekend idea.
Yeah, I'm not as thrilled about it as you are, but hey, I got to do what we do. So, when in Rome.
Didn't I give you plenty of extra hours?
That was on the last paycheck.
Oh.
Not going to help me on the rent one.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes. I'm just, man, I'm old school.
We'll make that. Let's make it Michael Knight Crush Wednesday, and so and you don't even have to say you like him.
Just are leaving Facebook.
They're all the droves. We went from 50 down to what is that, 20? Still got more than K57 though. Anyway, where do I need to go in the next 10 minutes? I got to take a break, and then I can wrap up the program. Groovy, be right back.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igumamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Stay clean and connected with Docomo Pacific and mobile. For a limited time, stop by any participating mobile store and get a free chamois when you purchase $10 worth of Docomo Pacific prepaid load. Keep your car looking spotless when you go prepaid. With the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas, you plus Docomo Pacific, better together. Offer valid while supplies last. Some conditions apply.
All right, I don't know if I want to play the audio on this, but I'm sorry. Maybe I'll play the video tomorrow. It's one of those things I get my hands on at the wrongest time of the program. But golly, it's funny. I might still be able to stick it up on the Point WhatsApp. It's just a funny piece of video that I think you might enjoy if you're watching on the Facebook Live and like that. 888-8255 is the telephone number. And every once in a while, you'll hear me say the telephone number, and there's a very good reason, because I'm trying to kill time while I'm doing something else. 988-5847. If you want to send me something on the state radio station WhatsApp, 988-5847. The 5847 is short for KUSG. All right, do I have the thing lined up? I've got the video. Let me see if don't turn up the audio. It's just a funny piece of video that I want to play for the viewers of the program. It's just a couple walking up greeting a friend. That's a Woman Crush Wednesday, because Woman Crush Wednesday. That's why. 9:53 in the program, and I've got just enough time to take a look at the table of contents and see what we've got here that's worth talking about. Just a couple of notes. Heidi Ballendorf chiming in, talking about the increment deal and the pay raise deal, which apparently also applies to autonomous agencies, which is amazing because they don't get their money from the general fund. But it's just one of those things where the autonomous agencies get colored with the same brush.
But I thought Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, on one of his stories this morning said that they had actually worked in some amendments yesterday to those specific provisions which did not affect the autonomous agencies. I could be wrong.
You know what? You could be right as well. I'll check. But Heidi's got to check as well, because she just threw that in there. And there's that. Does APL provide direct service from Singapore to Guam? Don't see why they would not. If you like, I'll put you in touch with Charlie. And a note here, apparently our earthquake has been downgraded.
Yeah, now 6.4, which that's actually significant. Yeah, that's every point is a multiple of 10 in terms of strength. So 6.6 was actually actually 20 times stronger than a 6.4 in terms of ground movement and stuff.
So I know about decibels and crap like that,
right.
But that's the part I stopped paying attention to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the 6.6 is 80 decibels. 6.4 is only 20.
Right.
So they say.
No idea what you're talking about. All right, so what do we got here on the table of contents that I didn't get through? The cops express concerns over computer swap over at the Election Commission and on election morning. We've talked about that ad infinitum in the program this morning. You know how I feel about it. I am now at this point going to be questioning a little bit more and a little bit more aggressively what is coming out of the Guam Election Commission and this post-election time. We've got that. We've got the mishandling of the provisional ballots that are going on there, and now we've got this conversation about why it just seems to be insistent on it's more than 3%. It's more than 3%, even though there are many ways that you can shape up an equation to bring it down to 1%. What exactly does the law say? How do we interpret that? Or let's stop trying to interpret it. Just do the recount, get it done and over with, satisfy everybody's curiosity and our conspiracy theories, and move forward. Leave it to the legislature to fix. And a reminder every single day that they've got to fix it. Consolidated Commission on Utilities gives the go-ahead to GPA-GWA for a $1.2 billion upgrade plan. That's going to hit us in the pocketbook, but it should bring better service over the course of the next 10 or 15 years. That's the theory. The AG hit the snooze bar on the Tenorio gun grab investigation. They came up for air long enough to say, we're still doing the investigation. Don't call us, we'll call you. And then snuggled themselves up back in the blanket. They curved themselves back up into the blanket, and they put their hands under the cool side of the pillow and went back to sleep. We don't want to politicize it. You've politicized it. I'm sorry. Just the sheer inaction. It's going to be 2 months in a few days. It's going to be 2 months in a few days. How long does it take? He's admitted to it. He admitted to grabbing the gun. He admitted to reaching over and taking the gun out of a police officer's holster.
Yeah, not to mention there's surveillance footage, witness accounts.
Of
Of course, in his
all
own
kinds.
admission, I mean, his own admission, it takes the prize.
So, what is the nature? What could you possibly be investigating that is taking too much to get done? And every day that you don't politicizes this even more. Yesterday, maybe getting pretty close to BJ's last day at work over at the legislature, and I want to say happy retirement, but I know better. He's going someplace else. He wants to become the public auditor, and there is an opening, and he took it and ran for it and won, and so he's going to be taking over that job here before too much longer. The big questions are what's going to happen over at the legislature after he leaves. Personally, I don't want to use the word chaos. That's Eddie's word, not mine. Eddie likes to use chaos, so I don't want to use the word chaos. What's another good one? Havoc.
Oh, havoc. That's very good.
Havoc, that's a good word.
Yeah, that's chaos spelled differently with different letters.
Am I pronouncing havoc?
Havoc is fine. Yeah, havoc.
Will they run amok?
Amok, yeah.
Over at the legislature?
Their jaws will be agog.
Because it's fun to me, that's why. But what's going to happen there? Will Therese become the actual Speaker of the legislature? She will temporarily, but will that be the case through the end of the term of the 34th Guam legislature? And the answer to the question is, I don't know. And we'll figure it out. Eventually, we'll still get through it. Lady D says there's videos. You know, I keep hearing that there's videos, but I haven't seen them. I'm not on the special extended video list here between the police department, the attorney general's office, et cetera, et cetera. What are you going on about, Nick Perlosky? Items like E911. Oh yeah. We got to. Dude, you know what? Thanks for the reminder on that. You know what? Let's do that tomorrow, day after. And we'll sit around and go, because there's a bunch of stuff that needs to get updated while I'm thinking about it. Guam Memorial Hospital. Did you read where you remember Dennis Rodriguez set up that special blue ribbon committee of folks at the legislature, and they were supposed to investigate the Guam Memorial Hospital? Mm-hmm. They haven't met in 2 months. Nice. They got together and said, okay, this is what we're going to
thing, man.
Right?
Did everybody take the last 2 months off?
We have the thing. We ought to do a thing where we just take a bunch of these old stories and update them and see where we are on these things. Like when is the other shoe going to drop on the E911 fund? You know, if I say the wrong thing on the radio, the FCC will come after me like you wouldn't believe it. And I'm waiting for another federal shoe to drop over the government of Guam, basically doing what they want to with E911 funds that the federal government says that they are only supposed to go to stand up the E911 system. Just saying. So we'll work on stuff like that. I got to go because the music's playing. I got like 12 seconds left on the radio. Whatever I didn't get to today, we'll get to tomorrow. The radio station that you're listening to, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate that. Is KUSG Hagutnia. We are 93.3 The Point. Here it comes. Fox News. See ya.
This is a Fox News alert. Some results coming in. I'm Lisa Lacera. All the polls now closed in Florida, where they're picking candidates for governor and several congressional seats. Fox's Evan Brown has more live in Miami.
Lisa, Fox News will project that Congressman Ron DeSantis will win the Republican primary here in Florida for governor and be nominated by the party to run for that seat. He defeats a long-serving, well-liked politician by the name of Adam Putnam, the state's agriculture commissioner. Someone once considered to be a governor in waiting. DeSantis was a Trump-backed candidate who campaigned minimally in the state. On the Democratic side, it is still too soon for us to make a call. Former Congresswoman Gwen Graham leads a pack of 7 candidates hoping to be Florida's governor from the Democratic Party. And the last bit of polls here in Florida and the Florida Panhandle have just closed, and they will now be counted. Lisa.
Thanks, Evan. In Arizona, one of the contests being held tonight is for the Senate seat now held by Republican Jeff Flake, who's retiring. But there was an issue with voting machines earlier today.